Okay. Let's make sure that everything is working properly before this thing starts. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not yet, but it's going to echo a bit just as I open this in a different tab. Just make sure the levels are good. If you can hear me, hello. Hope you are all doing well. Please let me know if the audio levels are okay. Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? Is the music too quiet? Is the music too loud? And let me know how you're doing. Hope y'all are having a good day. Okay. Hope you are all doing well. Please. Okay. Can hear myself. That's the most important thing. Kind of hard to narrate ideas without audio. Go, I can hear you. Fantastic. All right. Sound seems fine. Okay, how about the music? Can you guys hear it? This little event is going to start in about 8 minutes. At which point we'll go through all of the ideas. Thumbnail looks a little cheap this time. Well, that makes me cranky, E.X.O. How dare you? Sound mixing is perfect. Excellent. Alright, I'm glad to hear that. Music's a touch quiet, but coming in clear, so that's what matters. I'll raise it just a hair. I don't want it to be too loud. Just because a louder song will get overbearing. And there will be a few louder songs that people have chosen. But let's just raise it a few decibels. That should be good. There we go. Got some really good submissions today. Also starting to get to a point that's not this time, but I think next time people might be able to start submitting their second ideas. We've almost gotten to a point that we've gotten everybody that's submitting, which I'm super excited for because I love seeing how people evolve their presentations after they've gotten feedback. It's really cool to see people try to one-up themselves, and it's just, it's so fun to see that growth. Oh, no worries, Grief and Golem. The important thing is that the community is here and having fun looking over everybody's ideas. Okay, I just need to get all the various aspects set up. Got my list. Got my playlist. So everything should be good. I'm gonna quickly try to swap between scenes. Just make sure that, yeah, everything's working properly. How long will this one be? I'm going to try to do the same 8 ideas as usual. Some of them are a little shorter, so we might have time to do 9. But the soft plan is to just do 8 and to be done. But we'll see how this goes. 4 minutes to start. Ugh, I need to get some water already. Goodness. I've not been sleeping much lately, I will admit. Been absolutely swamped with various jobs. So it's nice to have this to kind of just take a step back from everything and just relax a little bit. So thank you all for enabling this bit of a day of rest for me. Okay, that's all the audio levels ready. I have everything up now. All the overlays are displaying properly. Yeah, E.X.O, it's a bit of a drain. But it's only physically exhausting. I've had a lot of different, like, retail jobs, and those are also, like, psychologically exhausting. Which, going from those to just a hard labor job, like, sure, I feel like I'm going to die, but at least my brain is still there, you know? In a weird way, I'd call retail work harder than, like, hard manual labor in a steel yard. It's impressive how much energy customers can drain from your soul. But I mean, to be fair, I don't really get a lot of work done on the days that I am working. I basically work all day for 3 days and just use the remaining 4 for editing. Well, remaining 3. One of those is basically just me sleeping all day, so... But it works. Yeah, exactly, Garden Wolf. Like, I can put on the retail mask and be all cheerful and happy greeting people, but it's so exhausting. You just get home and you want to shut down. But alright, it is 12:59. I think that's close enough. Now we can start this event properly. So, welcome everybody to the third Peasants Perspective livestream. The show where we take a bunch of viewer submissions of the cool ideas they've made about video games, and we go over them and gush about them. It's a fun time, a chill time. And let's jump right into it. So let me get the first song set up. It's actually just more Donkey Kong. We're gonna have a lot of Donkey Kong for a second. So our first idea comes from a fellow named Carson, which he calls the 8-Bit All-Star. So, let's begin. The world of Smash... Oh, wait, hold up, not quite begin. I'm going to remember this time. See, I'm growing, I'm learning in these streams. I'm actually going to put this in the chat at the beginning this time, so everybody can read along with me. Okay, actually, hold on. I don't think I did that right. Anyone with a viewer can be... Okay, never mind. No, we're good. We're good. The world of Smash Bros. Has always been something that has intrigued Carson since he first played it. The idea of this roster of Nintendo's All-Stars duking it out on some of the company's most iconic locations just was a genius concept that blew Carson's mind when he was younger. And after hearing all the challenges, Sakurai and the many teams he worked with to make each game, it truly showed the passion they had for not just Nintendo's history, but would soon transition into a celebration of gaming by the time Ultimate concluded. However, the original idea of Nintendo's All-Stars has become damped. Pyric becomes summoned the second that Donkey Kong is on. Of course. The ritual has been completed. Hello, Pyric, how are you doing? Has been damped as most recent entries began to focus more on third-party characters, as well as first-party characters used as marketing for newly released games. Greninja, Lucina Robin, Corrin, Incineroar, Byleth, Min, Pyra, Mythra, etc. In fact, it's arguable that the only first-party character added in Ultimate that the team themselves wanted to add to the roster, and not mainly because of high fan demand, because of their moveset potential, was Piranha Plant. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, seeing as how we've gotten amazing moves out of these circumstances, but it's a shame that there's still so many untapped potential movesets out there in terms of first party. Paper Mario, Dixie Kong, Bandana 1LD, Impa, any Rhythm Heaven rep, etc. There's many that would fit well under that original idea of Nintendo's All-Stars fighting together, and Carson wanted to give their interpretation to one of these characters. A character who, while not as talked about compared to other contenders, perfectly fits the role of as an all-star character, being one of Nintendo's oldest members of their legacy cast. Cranky Kong barrels through. This elderly ape, known as the original DK back in the arcade games, would go on to serve as a grouchy mentor in the Country series, aiding through shops, hints, and potions to defeat whatever enemies the Kongs are up to. He even joined in one of their adventures to save DK Isle after the Snowmads took over the island. And with newly regained spirits, he's now ready to teach those kids some respect to their elders and show what a true gaming icon can do without all this sci-fi, not violence nonsense modern gaming just loves to do today. That was a weird Donkey Kong voice. I'll do better next time. Alright. As a character who is long past his glory days, Cranky's not as strong as Donkey Kong, like he used to be, nor ever could reach the same speeds as the hat-wearing chimp Diddy. However, there are at least two things that favor this old Ib compared to his descendants: cunning and trickery. When looking back at Cranky's first appearance, he never really used his strength in combat that often, and instead to trick Mario through his constant placement of barrels and any other objects he could find across the stage, mocking him as Jumpman struggled to climb up. However, when Mario managed to outdo his trickery, whether it be using the hammer to break the barrels or using the ladders to stay clear of them, the ape was soon quickly defeated as his grin was quickly swiped off as he fell off the top of the tower. Give me 1 second. It seems like the music has stopped playing. Is this not auto-playing? This is not auto-playing. There we go. There we go. Alright. Sorry about that. This is how Carson wants to interpret Cranky Kong, mixing elements of his earlier and modern appearances to be a defensive character, zoner to be exact, that relies on wits to set up his traps as he uses a multitude of objects that can be seen across the DK series to defeat his enemies, rather than his physical body. However, at the end of the day, he's still a member of the Kong family, sharing some of his attributes with both Donkey and Diddy, with his own spin on it. Also the fact that a few moves are based on his appearance in Tropical Freeze. And it's all done with his signature cranky and all-knowing attitude that we know for him today. Got some stats here. I generally don't like trying to bring up stats, as that's something that kind of has to be decided through balance, but it is a very good way of getting a general feel of how the character works. So you can see here, it's got 2 jumps, airspeed like Falcon, fall speed around Falco and Mega Man. Sure, I'm not going to read all these out, because you can see them right here. It gives a general idea of how this character plays. Ground moves. When looking at many jabs/tilts, they're usually more tame to what a character can really do, using their basic tools to get the job done. As such, Carson relied on using the king for the jabs and tilts, acting as simple swings and bashes that still keeps the idea of distancing cranking through its disjoints. As for the dash attack, that's obviously a no-brainer, being the roll from DKC, specifically using his animation from Tropical Freeze. However, when it comes to the smash attacks, the cane doesn't feel suited for hard-hitting attacks. As such, Carson took some creative liberties with them that still felt true to what character/series, while adding a bit of references to DK Arcade, DKC, and DK64. And look at all of the artwork. I love it when people do this. Oh, it's so good. Like, Sakurai literally just posted a video about video game animation, showing how much it helps just to have these little poses to make an idea come to life. So I love it when people do this. Got his basic stance right here. It's just his general idle animation. Crouch gets him on all fours while holding the bottom of the cane in that state. Jab. Similar to Isabel's jab, as Cranky just whacks people at the top of his cane. Which is already just such a hilarious... Like, imagine stealing somebody's jump with smacking him with a cane. Also, just the general idea of all of these tilts being Cranky, just going full Rafiki on people. Just, it's so good. Side tilt is similar to Villager's umbrella sweep, just without the actual top of the umbrella. Up tilt is like Villager's as well, which is just a very funny image. Just him doing a full, get off my lawn! Oh, yeah! EC explosion, you darn kids, get off my stage! It's perfect! And then down tilt dashes the top of the cane down, like the ground pound that Cranky has from Tropical Freeze. Of course, the dash attack has to be the roll, it can't be anything else. These three, however, I love this so much. Forward smash is a TNT barrel, which is just put forward and duck and cover of the explosion. That's a really fun way of doing a smash attack while not actually having him hit anything. I wish more characters did something like this. Up smash, that's hilarious. Trying to lift the iconic red girder. Also throwing out his back at the same time. I love it. And down smash grabs his potions from DK64, throwing them on every side. It says here that they apply different statuses based on the color. Fire, electricity, poison. Only lasts for a couple seconds. Interesting. Bit of randomness there. I love randomness. I love his facial expression there. Alright, aerial moves. Similarly to the ground moves, I decided to keep the same idea for the ground, and have the majority of his aerials reliant on his cane, though with the idea in mind that some of his moves would correlate to the other Kongs. Neutral air is similar to Diddy's, I think that fits very well. You actually literally see the bouncing animation right there, that's very good. Forward air is similar to Donkey Kong's. I'd be curious if this spikes or not. It doesn't say so. I see Carson in the chat. Do you see the spiking? It's got the movement of a move that would spike, and I find it's usually important to have a move visually do what you'd expect it to, if that makes any sense. Also, parroting Pyrrhic's question, does the roll end at ledges, or can you roll off them and jump afterwards? Do that little trick from DKC. Back air just kicks like Donkey Kong. And then up air steps for like... Oh, that's... Okay, I thought that was Sephiroth for a second. I was going to enjoy the comparison. But yeah, it works. And then down air, of course, you gotta have the Scrooge McDuck with him. Just like in Tropical Freeze, Cranky will stick his cane out from below and fall down with it, acting as a stalled fall. With that said, the move will have drastic differences compared to other versions of the stall and fall, as this move would keep any horizontal movement Cranky obtained, possibly allowing him to zoom across the stage. Though once he lands on the ground, he will obtain a fair amount of end lag. However, if Cranky manages to land his cane on a player, item, or projectile, then he'll bounce off of and keep his momentum going, leading to some insane distance. The main downside to all of this, though, is that when Cranky is using this move, he will move in one direction and can lead to said momentum flying him off the stage and towards the blast zone. I love the idea of uncontrollable bouncing. He's too old to control his momentum like that. That's a funny mental image. Could be very fun combos, though. Alright. Grabs the... Oh, look at this! Oh, I love it! He uses squawks! To avoid overusing the cane in Cranky's movesets, Carson wanted to use something else for his grabs and throws, and ended up having Squawks the Parrot integrated, similar to Lucas's Rope Snake. I wish that the animal friends appeared more in Smash Brothers in general. Just like victory animations or taunts or something. It could be so good. Anyway, As Cranky reaches out to grab his opponent, Squawks the parrot will pop on his shoulders, and if successful, capturing the player. When attacking, Squawks will quickly fly over to the opponent and bash his head against them, dealing rather low damage. So it just headbutts them repeatedly. Forward throw. As Cranky throws the opponent slightly off the ground, Squawks will pluck out an egg to send out, just like in DKC2, launching the opponent in a somewhat short vertical trajectory. Back throw. Rapid jabs them, kind of like Kazooie's back air, I think. Before one last hit knocks them away. I like it. Then down throw. After Cranky whacks the opponent into the ground, Squawks will quickly scratch the opponent with his claws, swiping them in a small upwards trajectory. Then up throw. Very similar to his grandson, Cranky has a cargo throw that allows him to carry players and move around. However, rather than holding players, he stuffs them in the barrel. Yes! I love this. Rolling them in whatever direction when using the attack button or grab button again. Once thrown, the barrel will act just like another one of his barrels. But with the caveat that any opponents in there cannot take damage unless the barrel is destroyed. Players can also mash it out of the barrel when Cranky holds it and when it's thrown and rolling. Specials! This is it, the meat of the entree, the heart of the matter, the core of moveset concepts, the specials. These moves are what define both a character's theme and playstyle, using some of their most signature attacks to stand out of the crowd. Now, with that in mind, it should be no shock that this is where the iconic barrels can be seen the most here, being not only with the ape since his debut, but also serving as one of the most common symbols throughout the Donkey Kong series. We've seen many variations come out of the series, and Cranky will make sure to use the most out of them here. I am kind of loving this idea of, like, I would prefer Donkey Kong to have barrels, but bringing in Cranky to do it instead would be a nice, like, meet in the middle sort of deal. So, the neutral special is obviously barrel throw. Pulls out a classic barrel and tosses it in the direction he faces. Having 3 at a time, using it again will cause Cranky to give a grudgingly confused look at the player. They can be destroyed / disappear if a player / heavy projectile makes contact with them, falls off the stage, or lasts for 10 seconds. While this move lacks in damage and knockback, it is a critical part of creating setups and tricks due to the many properties it has, which includes slopes causing the barrel to speed up or slow down, though cannot stop its movement. Barrels being able to be picked up by Cranky again, but can drop it if hit in the state and allow other players to pick it up. Walls and light / inanimate objects, hydrant, crafting block, etc. can be used to make the barrels roll in the other direction. Ooh, that's a very fun / very annoying combination with Steve. That could be fun. Cranky being able to bounce off the barrel with his down air and gain massive height whenever it's on the ground or falling in the air. Possibly lead to some crazy edge-guarding scenarios with an opponent on the ground and Cranky in the air. Flames will appear on the barrel if it's hit by a light fire attack, lasting for 3 seconds before turning to ash. I like that a lot. I feel like Smash Bros. Does not do enough with, like, elements. They have so many in the series that they could do cool things with, but they just kinda don't. So this is cool. And then ladders can be used by barrels. Won't show up in many stages, but that's still really cool. I like that. It's a nice reference. This may have come off as a bit random, but it's due to the large possibilities the players have as a setup tool rather than the payoff. And of course, using the hammer item will immediately break the barrels, as it should. Side special is the rocket barrel. I love... I'm just picturing Lloyd Rocket, which is just such a funny idea with Cranky. Making its original appearance from Retro Studios' DKC duology, Cranky will ride on the rocket barrel, moving it in a constant horizontal speed, though it can be somewhat tilted up or down with the left stick, with Cranky capable of hopping off any time that will send the rocket on a downward trajectory. The rocket can also enter said trajectory after lasting up to 5 seconds, and the fuel empties, breaking apart when it hits any terrain, players, or projectiles. If the rocket manages to get hit before the 5 seconds, however, it will result in an explosion that will send Cranky, goodness, into free fall if still on. It will still have a small disable timer to prevent spamming. I think it's okay that it's a replica of Lloyd's rocket. It's a good reference to have. And just a funny mental image of just this really old, crotchety monkey just riding a rocket towards you. Up special is Balloon Lift. The balloon seen across the DKC games will serve as a recovery for Cranky Kong, and a rather limited one at that. After blowing it up, he will slowly move up vertically, capable of tilting it slightly to the left or right. This will only stop either when Cranky lets go of the balloon or it pops by an attack projectile. If the latter occurs, the ape will be sent into freefall, sort of. While he does still all his jumps and specials, he can still whip out his aerials, similar to Bowser Jr.'s attack when in freefall, but to a larger degree. This includes the down air, which, if done correctly, could allow him to bounce off an object and make it to the ledge. This is a fun idea here. Because, like, picture that you've got a bunch of barrels rolling around on the stage. The balloon lift isn't going to get you very far to this stage, but it could let you hover in place to a point that a barrel is going to roll off the stage and come towards you. So you could then just wait there until the barrel comes to you and then bounce off it with his cane. That's a really fun idea. I like this. I like it a lot. And the down special is the oil barrel. Down special will be the oil barrel, still seen from the donkey... Oh my gosh, that just blended together in my mouth. Seen from the original Donkey Kong games. Placed right behind the walkway, similar to Steve's crafting barrel. Once placed, a fireball will pop out and slowly roam around the stage. That's why they light on fire with the barrels, because he can do it himself. I like this. Yeah, like I said, can cause some objects like Cranky's barrels to be caught on fire. The barrel will stay out for an indefinite amount of time, but can take damage by attacks and projectiles, losing its durability seen through its deformed structures. Think Duck Hunt's can as an example, eventually being destroyed once taking too many hits. However, if any fire explosive-based attacks make contact with it, like Mario Luigi's fireballs or Cranky's rocket barrel, yo, you can just totally just send the rocket barrel straight into the oil barrel and create a massive explosion. I love that. The barrel will cause a massive explosion and cause high damage knockback to any who get caught by it. Once the barrel is gone, it will be on a timer for 15 to 20 seconds before another one can be placed again. Now, if Cranky wants to move the barrel to a different location, he'll need to pick it up and drop it down. Again, if a fireball is nearby, it will follow Cranky until the barrel is placed. However, Cranky is easily vulnerable when this happens, unable to attack in this state, and allow players to destroy or even explode the oil barrel in his hands. And if there's multiple Cranky Kongs, the color matches what their player color is. That's a really fun thing to kind of tie all this together, because it enables more with the neutral special, enables more with the side special. Oh, I really like it. I like how crafty this lets Cranky be, which fits his character so well. It's the hallmark of a good moveset. Everything meshes together. Final Smash, it's on like Donkey Kong. Please say this is... Yes, he just goes full on Boomy. After drinking one of his... Ah! I don't know what happened there. Let's just reset. Okay, there we go. We're fine. We're fine. No, don't panic. Don't panic. It's fine. After drinking one of his potions from his lab, Cranky reverts back into his younger self from the Donkey Kong Arcade /94 games, 8-bit and all. He will start constantly throwing barrels out either to his right, left, or below him. Any players who get hit will not only be dealt with roughly 15% of damage, but will also get stuck in them as they roll across the stage, until they reach the blast zone or run to a lethal object like lava. Button mashing will also allow players to break through and escape, though much harder to do compared to the cargo throw. That's a funny idea. Just trapping everybody in the barrels. I love it. Please say that he actually, like, says it's on, like, Donkey Kong when he transforms. That'd be amazing. And just some extra stuff. Just taunts, Kirby hats, etc. I love the up taunt being the record player. I don't know if references to DKC in general. That's a very fun one. And even plays tunes based off Donkey Kong songs. I love that. Side taunt is the rocking chair. I would love... just if this did, like, very light poke damage. Like, in the way that, like, he's walking onto your toes, if he does it right next to you, just do, like, a percentage, like a 0.01 damage, but just to disrespect people. Like, imagine doing this on the ledge, and it just catches someone's jump by two-framing them. That'd be hilarious. Same with this one, and that appears to be what it's designed for. Will spike and land an opponent in the air on ledge. I love that. I feel like Cranky is a very important character to have some disrespectful things like that. That's a very good question, Pierre. Can the rocking chair catch on fire? And he'll just keep sitting in it, like the "this is fine" meme. That'd be great. Entrance is just like the other Kongs, except he's thumping his back a few times before the battle begins. Victory animation reads a newspaper, giving it an unamused glare. I love unamused Cranky. Also has his DJ table from DK64. Love it. And just sleeps in his chair, tired from how boring the match was. Ah, that's so good. Got his idle animations as well, taking off his glasses and wiping them with his thumb, and beginning to slowly doze off before abruptly snapping back in bewilderment. Got some nice costumes here. These are very well made, well done. Modern, retro, 94, Funky Kong, Polly. That's great. Having a Pauline recolor for her, I love that. Squawks, Wrinkly, and Kitty Kong. Yes! Oh! Look at that! Hold on. I love him! I love him so much! Oh, it's adorable! Kirby with a beard. Yes. He just lets him pick up barrels. Oh, that's so good. That's so good! Now, for many people, this would be one of the most obvious picks for a Smash stage, using the iconic 25-meter level as Cranky's home stage. However, we already have 75 meters as a stage, and after that stage, along with others like Mario Bros., we know that sticking too close to the source material is usually a poor design decision under Smash's gameplay. Plus, we already have similar gimmicks of climbing up and down a vertical stage through stages like Wrecking Crew and Moray Towers. As such, Carson feels like we should give another game in the DK series more attention in Smash, Tropical Freeze. Along with getting more tracks from that game, more on that later, Cranky's stage will be based off of the second island you visit in the game, Autumn Heights. The main gimmick will have a windmill seen in the level Windmill Hills, with each blade having a platform connected to it as they would move in a clock rotation. The main ground will be made of a bridge, placed slightly underneath the windmill. There will be two slight elevations, with there being a slight angle in the middle of the bridge connecting the two elevations together. The enemy hoots can also occasionally pop up and be used as a moving platform to spice up the layout. And the background will just have a lot of enemies native to the island, as well as the Snowmads, Dixie Kong, Funky Kong, and Rambi the Rhino. Okay, so he'd at least be in the game in some fashion. There we go, there we go. And then just some music selections. I'm not going to read through all of these, just because it's just a list of music. But I'll just imagine that we got this much music for like a first-party franchise that's already in the game. Like with the newer games, I love the newer games, but you don't get as many remixes from the older games anymore, which I think is a huge shame. And just to wrap up with the verdict, the words Nintendo's All-Stars displayed at the beginning of the Melee's intro is something that will always be engraved into Carson's head. To them, that was the moment that truly defined Super Smash Bros., as this celebration of the company's series rather than 64's being more of a wacky fighting game that just so happened to be a crossover. And while they still love Smash Bros. Today with how crazy said crossover has gotten with 3rd, they'll always find the simplicity of the older games to be more charming in some aspects. And with this Cranky Kong moveset concept, Carson believes that he's managed to accomplish recapturing that original perspective. It's a concept that may feel more simplistic in comparison to Ultimate's characters, yet it manages to bring out that very quirky and fun character to life with his defensive zoner categorizing that relies on his cane, barrels, and any other objects he has to obnoxiously win the fight and show that you can't keep this monkey down. Just hold on, I can do better than that. You can't keep this old monkey out of the fight just yet. Sure, that's fine. I am not a voice actor. Also, hope we did enjoy the artworks, extremely so. It was actually used for a different project, but seeing how a peasant's perspective is returned, it was a perfect timing to reuse those elements. Wait, you made this render? Dude! Look at that! That's so good! That's Marge Simpson? Fuck off. But yeah, this was really well done. Well, like, the custom artwork speaks for itself, obviously. But I really, really love how this moveset ties it all together. Like how the barrel throw can be used in tandem with the oil barrel. It can be lit on fire, then the barrels can roll back and explode the barrel. You can use the rocket barrel to explode the oil barrel further. Or you can use the barrels with your cane for recovery. There's a lot of cool things at work here. I honestly don't really have much feedback I could give here. Like, this is just really solid. I think maybe the only thing I'd want from him is on this side taunt right here. You know how Mr. Rossetti would just start spouting off random things about anybody that's on the field right now? Just make this a taunt that can go on forever, and he'll just spout off, like, just randomly insult whoever he's fighting. I think that would be really, really fun. But yeah, that's the only thing I can come up with. This is very good. It's even Pyrrhic Kong approved. Would you look at that? That's the highest seal of quality you can get for a Donkey Kong concept. Well done. Well done, indeed. Exactly, EPSF. A new form of the snake codec. Cranky insults. It would be so good. But yeah, congratulations. You just turned Cranky Kong into my most wanted DK newcomer. This sounds like so much fun. Let's get this next one set up. Also, let me get some water just really quick. Alrighty. Get a new music track going. So, next up, we have an idea from Erdrick. Fitting name. About a new way to approach the Dragon Quest series. Forging the future of Dragon Quest. Brainstorming for future Dragon Quest games made by Erdrick, formerly known as Blue Crate. So, how do we open this up? Well, Erdrick can start by saying that one of their favorite games of all time has been Dragon Quest XI. Playing it for the first time was a magical experience. They were captivated by the game's world, fell in love with its charming characters, and was invested in its story about family and living life with love in your heart. I forgot to link the page. Thank you for reminding me. Boop. And boop. There we go. Thank you, Carson. Seriously, play Dragon Quest XI if you haven't. It's a great RPG and needs as much worldwide attention as it can get. Erdrick has done some research on the games that came before 11 and hopped on the Dragon Quest train. With Dragon Quest XII and the Dragon Quest III remake on the horizon, wants to take a look back at what they enjoyed about 11 and talk about how not only the next game, but the next games after that could improve the Dragon Quest experience. Without further ado, let's jump in. What can it improve? Firstly, let's have a short talk about what it does well. Erdrick likes what traditionalism has done for Dragon Quest. Keeping the turn-based combat helped to center the game around training yourself and party members to become stronger, and strategizing about how you'll use your skills to defeat an upcoming boss. It's had the run-of-the-mill RPG battle system for a while, and has only improved on it since then with turns for individual party members, skill trees, and so forth. Not only this, but Erdrick enjoys the fact that Dragon Quest is meant to be the player's story. Centering around the player makes it feel as if they themselves are growing and traveling the world, making friends along the way. It truly feels like an adventure and path of strength to overcome the big boss. The simple thought of that being the player's story would be captivating. I haven't even spoken on the environment, they're simply gorgeous. Erdrick can remember spending so much time roaming the lands of Erdria, from the foothills of Heliodor to the frozen town of Sniffelheim. Hang on, Sniffelheim? I love that name. I've never heard that before, but I love that name so much. There's so much to explore and see, and that hits the itch for someone as adventurous as me. However, I've noticed something. A lot of people have dropped Dragon Quest XI saying that they can't get through the game for more than a few minutes. Not only this, but a lot of people find it to be boring. I'll actually admit that I'm one of those people as well. Erdrick thinks this is a hint towards what we can look for to improve about Dragon Quest, which is engagement. How can the player be more engaged with Dragon Quest? It's a very broad and vague question, but the true meaning of this question lies in their ideas as to what could be improved. This has been split into 3 short sections, and so here are the pitches. Section 1, Player to Foe. This is Dragon Quest XI's battle menu. Pretty plain and simple, you scroll across a number of options and select what you want to do. You can also change your tactics, including the party's order and such, by switching it to the tactics menu with the press of a button. First off, wants to start with the menu, the smallest change to the battle system. Dragon Quest's menu has you select from a number of options on a menu once it's your party's turn. You scroll to pick an action, then you may be offered an extra menu, allowing you to pick a specific option in that category of action. Spells, abilities, items, etc. The menu's serviceable enough, but it could use some speeding up. After all, who wants to do all that scrolling for multiple characters? Here's the pitch. Take the menu... Okay. I mean, I feel like this is cheating what you can do for any RPG, but I agree, because it's the best menu system I've ever seen. And implemented into Dragon Quest. For those who don't know, Persona 5's menu had you select an action or action category with the press of a single button. If you click something like items, you'd still have to scroll through an extra menu, but the simple button press made the process of selecting actions much faster with no consequence. A menu like this would make menus much less of a slog and would keep the player from experiencing monotony, maintaining the flow of engagement. Now, I know this may seem like a small thing, but it actually does free up a lot of time when you don't have to cruise through several different menus to do what you want to do. Persona's menu really is kind of brilliant in that way. It's a simple change, but it's a very good one. Now, on to the bigger change. The second thing I'd like to talk about is performing attacks, spells, and abilities. Once you select an action, an animation plays seeing the character do whatever you chose. Pretty simple. However, this meant that combat was relegated to nothing more than scrolling through a menu. Attacks would be a spectacle to watch, but it felt like the characters were more involved in doing them more than you were. This is supposed to be the player's... this is going to go into Mario... Yep. Implement action commands. I wish every RPG did this. I know that some people don't always like it. They want to be able to, like, just chill with an RPG. But, like, this is what you need to, like, just keep it a little more engaging, to keep you focused on the game, which helps me not fall asleep to them. Yeah, there's an easy example right there from Paper Mario. One thing that people liked about these two Mario RPGs was the combat system. With action commands, the player would feel actively engaged in performing or enhancing attacks. This would make them feel like they played a part in the attacks, making them feel more involved in the battles they fought on their adventures. This sort of engagement would keep the player pumped for battles, trying their best to input the right command and get in as much damage as possible. You know what would probably be the best of both worlds here? Make this like a toggle at the start of the game. You can play without action commands or with action commands. Because I'm sure there would be some traditionalists that want just a simple Dragon Quest experience. But that, like, I might consider playing Dragon Quest with this in it, but I would never do it without. And I think this would be a really good way of making it branch out to a wider audience. As long as it's optional, and you're good. Section 2, Player to World. Let's talk about the game world, specifically dungeons and caves. In Dragon Quest, these were either extra areas that you could explore for new monsters or hidden goodies, or mandatory sections of the games that had you navigate a cramped space to progress to the next area. These areas seem interesting and challenging, right? Not really. As someone who's played 11, dungeons mostly involve walking across the map and navigating it, fighting monsters on the way. It has some level of puzzles and challenge, but I've seen that and more from other games, and the dungeons are more of an engaging challenge compared to Dragon Quest. So then, what's the solution? Here's the pitch. Implement more puzzles. A great example to look at would be the dungeons from Zelda games, such as Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild. A dungeon in those games was like a set of levels, where you needed to solve a puzzle using the items in your toolkit to get to the next dungeon. This made the player actively think about how to progress across the dungeon because they'd be occupied by the puzzles. I would need to see how this was implemented, because I have played some RPGs with like really complex puzzles, and combining that with turn-based battles can make it very difficult to navigate around the dungeons. I still think this could be good, like tying like giving spells like ways to interact with the actual overworld environments, a la like Golden Sun, and then turning that into a sort of puzzle thing in a dungeon. That could be really cool. But it could also be very, like, imagine like a water temple sort of dungeon, but you have to do turn-based battles to get through it. You just need to hire a really good level designer for these. Make the player learn Braille. Yeah, puzzles like that, while neat references, can get very frustrating for people that aren't able to do that. Implement this into Dragon Quest by having a couple of puzzles spread across caves and dungeons, be they mandatory for progression or optional for an extra reward. You'd find up to 4 puzzles within a cave or dungeon, no more than that, so that there's just enough going on alongside traversing and battling. To accompany these puzzles, you could make some spells into overworld abilities, with them being given to you at the beginning of their corresponding dungeon. Maybe, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. Maybe you need to use Frizz to burn a bunch of ropes suspending platforms, creating a path that will get you to your destination. Or maybe you need to use Rubble Rouser to elevate an object. Things like those. Erdrick thinks that this would make for a much more interesting dungeon cave system that challenges the player and keeps them engaged with dungeon traversal. And then section 3, Player to Friends. Now then, let's finish this discussion off by talking about how the player interacts with the characters around them. And the most important thing to talk about when discussing this is the protagonists themselves. For those that don't know, the protagonists in Dragon Quest have all been blank slates for the player to project themselves onto. This means that they rarely emote and don't speak. This was done so that the protagonist wouldn't perform an action that doesn't align with the player. This is a gripe of Erdrick's. I remember so many times where I couldn't bear the protagonist's silence, whether it being wanting to speak my mind to a character or act on my own in the story. I couldn't do that because I was playing as a literal cardboard slate. This is an interesting question of preferences here. Like, where a silent protagonist works and where it doesn't. Erdrick is suggesting a dialogue options system to be added to the game, harkening to how the Telltale games work. Given multiple opportunities to speak and choose what you want to say, be it something witty or something serious. When presented with a decision, you could also choose it. A system like this could prevent some more leeway for player expression. Plus, if you don't want to say anything, don't select anything, and your answer would be silent like the olden games. that could be a interesting middle ground there. Like, just being allowed to still be the silent protagonist. Has any game ever done that before? I don't know. Like, you just choose to not have a character for your protagonist? That's interesting. As a bonus, having the option to make faces while a cutscene is occurring would also be nice. I'm just picturing that. Like, having it, like, attached to a character, like a camera or something. Like, it reads your expression and does it yourself. That would be hilarious. Maybe NPCs could even react to your expression. I think that'd be cool, too. Here's the middle ground. You don't choose dialogue options, but you do choose expressions. That would be hilarious. Your character's literally mute, but you can choose the emotion you react. You know what? That would actually work for player expression. Like, it's hard to do dialogue options because there's so many different ways anybody could react to the exact same situation. But facial expressions, you just have to get so many of them, and you can react to really any situation. And that would be hilarious. Like, reacting angrily to a situation that's supposed to be happy and just seeing how characters react to that. I actually really want that. Maybe not for Dragon Quest, but for some RPG. I would really love that to happen. The next thing to discuss is how the player interacts with party members. Keep it short and simple. I wish there was a way to actually spend time with a party outside of the main story. There are so many characters that could generate so many interesting moments. Think about the... Okay, so Persona 5 again. I'm not saying that as a diss. Persona 5 does that really, really, really well. Like, imagine a confidant link with Sylvano. I might play Dragon Quest 11. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't play Dragon Quest 11. I'd watch the cutscenes for that. I wish something like that could be in Dragon Quest because of the potential to have the player engage with the party. Yeah, this is just Persona 5's confidence system. Okay, yeah. I imagine that perhaps there could be various spots in different towns that allow you to partake in an activity with a certain party member. Maybe you could also get to spend time with characters when you reach a camp. As you spend more time with characters, your relationship would level up, you get know abilities. Nice direction. Yeah, so the confidant system, for sure. Final thing I want to speak on is the side quests. In Dragon Quest XI, the side quests you get are either fetch quests or achievements you've seen in a mobile game. They have good rewards, for sure, but the process of getting the reward is underwhelming and underutilized. Seriously, screw fetch quests. I wish there was a way for side quests to be more engaging, so here's my pitch. I think a good frame of reference for good side quests is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Get to protect someone's ranch from UFOs, reunite two lovers, free a man from his curse, and so forth. Things like that feel so much more interesting and personalized than just get 20 of insert item here or get my cat random stranger. I think you could say this about a lot of different RPGs. This isn't just relegated to Dragon Quest. Like, even some Zelda games. Like, this is something that Breath of the Wild really needs. Not to mention that the characters featured in these side quests were characters you get to know from more. From Romani and Gremia to Cafe, you get to know these characters a bit beyond surface level, making completing their side quests ultimately more fulfilling. That's what a side quest should be for Dragon Quest, and I'd add there just for any video game, really. An optional side quest involving side characters you can be invested in. You can complete various tasks that aren't fetch quests in order to flesh out the game's world or help these characters out. Things like the events I listed in Majora's Mask. You can travel with a character as a temporary party member to complete a dungeon, or maybe you're challenged by another character in a minigame of chess or horse racing. Things like that would be much more engaging, and I refer to both characters and the objectives. In the end, you get a prize to end it all. That would be so much better. Comment from E.X.O. But Duke, how are we supposed to explore the world if we don't trade a thing to a thing to a thing to a thing to trade a thing to trade a thing to a thing to trade a thing? And that ends Erdrick's little rant. I was able to get some ideas going, as well as some interest in this series and what it could be going forward. Dragon Quest is something I now hold dear to my heart, and I want something like this to improve and become even better than it already is. Some feature May do some more of these Dragon Quest rambles. But anyway, thank you, and thanks to Duke if you read this. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think this opens up a lot of interesting questions here. Because it's true that Dragon Quest has survived... the whole hallmark of that brand is its traditionalism. It is the most traditional JRPG that is on the market right now. But the question being, is that a boon to it, or is that a detriment? And weirdly, I think you can say, you can answer that question in any way you choose. Because it's all about what appeals to people, right? I do think that Dragon Quest could stand to learn from, like, other JRPGs that has followed and have taken inspiration from it. I think every JRPG should try to take the menu system for Persona 5. Not even just for the look of it, but just for the simplicity and how easy it is to use. It's so good. I do feel like this does need, like, options for people that want the more traditional RPG experience. Like, I'm not playing this game without Action Command. Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't care about the traditionalism of Dragon Quest. If I want to play a JRPG, there's so many better options for what I enjoy from them. I don't like the traditional elements very much, but I also wouldn't want to take those elements away from people that do enjoy them. So I think making things like this optional, and then I really love the idea of just choosing expressions. Like, I would honestly want that and sacrifice the dialogue system. That would be so funny and such a creative way of making a blank slate protagonist more expressive. And just imagine the memes. Like you could do so much with that. It'd be so funny. But I do think these are very solid concepts. I think they all need to be expanded a bit more. Like, I'd love to see an idea about a specific dungeon in a Dragon Quest game. Just to kind of flesh out the idea more. But yeah, I think it brought up a good discussion, just about, like, what people enjoy out of JRPGs. Well done, Erdrick. Well done. Alrighty. Let's grab our next set of ideas. Let me change the music real quick. Yeah, there we go. So, next up we have another Smash Brothers idea. But this one really caught my eye, because it's about items. By 3XHS. A lot of the time, when people think of the Super Smash Bros. Series, the first thing that comes to mind is the roster. This is for good reason. After all, between it both being a fighting game and a crossover, the main events are going to be seeing what characters are in the game and how they fight with each other. I did forget the link, once again, thank you, Grieving Column. Someday I'll do that first. There we go. Okay. However, at times, 3XHS finds themselves a little disappointed by the lack of interest in the other gameplay aspects of the Smash series. While there's at least some focus given to the universal mechanics of the series, it's rare to see people discuss their ideas for two other parts of the game: stages and items. And in 3X's opinion, that's a bit of a shame. Because even if there is less to go over with them, it's hard to write a 30-minute analysis on how this arrangement of platforms makes for a better gameplay experience, or how that smash attack on a sword is a masterclass in game design. There's still a lot of work that can go into making... Hold on. 1 second. This is the version with lyrics. I don't want to talk over lyrics. There we go. Yeah, a more chiller song. There we go. There we go. There's still a lot of work that can go into making these aspects of the game, and trying to make new ones can always be fun. However, since Stage Builder exists, I'm going to discuss the concept of making new items instead. Now, 3X thinks it's reasonable to explain their goals for making these items. Most items, both those in the game and the ones they're making here, are not really designed with respect to balance, fitting with their random nature. Balance only really needs to be considered to the extent the item isn't unfun to play against. Additionally, they're not going to care too much about making each item work exactly like it does in the source games. Some are designed to mimic gameplay mechanics, or are changed significantly for the purpose of fairness, so I only want to make items fit so long as it's enough for people to think, oh yeah, that's that item, it's doing what it does. However, what they will prioritize with most of these item designs is making them fun to use. The Home Run Bat isn't necessarily the most balanced item, with its high damage, devastating knockback, and potential one-hit kill, but it's always a blast to use. A huge boost in combat potential, or a multitude of creative options tend to make for a good item, mostly because either of those let players do really cool things. And when there are inevitably downsides to an item, it's best if they're funny. Seeing someone swing around the shaft of a hammer while another person goes to hit them with the head is at least funny, even if it leaves the wielder helpless without a recovery. I should explain their intent for how they want to explain these items. Now, with further ado, a brief note about item choice. Now, some of you may have seen the items above and thought, what the heck are those? I'm not going to actually read these over because we're going to go through them one by one. I'll admit I'm certainly biased in my item selections. I generally pick 2 items from my personal favorite series. In particular, I picked 2 items from the least popular Xenoblade game because it's my favorite of the 4, Fight Me. There is no real reason behind this, I just wanted to do that. However, I did have some reason to pick more unorthodox and obscure items. And that's primarily because I think they have interesting functions that they don't see in the current item list. And lastly, they should address the Plasma Hat, Demon Meter, and Master Sign, as these are items that I made entirely up. Ooh, I like made-up items. Those are fun. To fit a mechanic I wanted from their respective games into a casual Smash match. We'll get into more detail once we choose them for each individual explanation. But it's important to preemptively clarify that. Let me grab some water real quick. Alright. Super Boots. The Super Boots were originally an item from Paper Mario, where they gave Mario the ability to ground pound and improve the damage of his jump in combat. They returned with a similar purpose in Thousand Year Door, and then didn't really appear again because of the changes to the Paper Mario formula. I'm going to give them a similar purpose as an item, but make a few changes for the purpose of making them fit with Smash gameplay. The Super Boots would be a gear item, putting it alongside items like the Franklin Badge and Rocket Belt. When picked up, the character would obviously wear the boots, giving the user 2 buffs. Okay, that immediately just opens up the question of what happens when Piranha Plant wears them. Are they just on his little nubs underneath the plant? Does Ivysaur get 4? What happens with Rob? Is he kind of just taped to his arms or something? I love that so much. First, they would gain the ability to insta-drop, functioning the same as with spirits. Secondly, their footstools are greatly improved, dealing damage, tripping opponents, and having a much stronger spike against aerial opponents. This might initially seem like a fairly underwhelming item, as a boost to footstools is situational at best. However, the strength of the item comes from the insta-drop. Yes! Never mind, I like that idea better, Pierre. It's just one giant shoe for characters without feet. I love that. It's like a Goomba shoe. That's perfect. This is a huge boon in most parts of the game. It gives characters new combos, a strong movement option in the air, and allows easy mix-ups in neutral. Not to mention that the fact that characters who use an insta-drop landing aerial on a slant wall slide, giving them even more movement options, as seen here. The Super Boots would make for an item that allows for better movement and mix-ups in pretty much every situation, with an extra situational bonus to footstools. This is interesting on its own, and it could essentially lead to a new game mode if used in Special Smash. That would be really fun. I would really love that. Overall, the tools this item adds would make it at least a fun addition for casual players and with high potential for higher level players. Would each Pikmin get boots instead of Olimar? That's great. Next, oh! That's a good idea! Oh, I like this one. I like this one a lot. The Cane of Samaria is an item that debuted in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. It's not the most memorable item, creating a block in front of the user that can be pushed, picked up, and thrown around and detonated. Or, in particular situations, creating a platform for the player to move around on. Yo, how is the Cane of Samaria not in Breath of the Wild? That would fit it like a glove. Whatever. The block damages enemies, slightly knocking them away. Now, this doesn't find a lot of use in a game like Link to the Past. The player already has access to tools like the Ice Rod, Bow, Magic Boomerang, and even the medallions to stall enemies, meaning that this tool is generally outclassed. However, this item could be interpreted as an interesting way for a platform fighter. The Cane of Samaria would be a shooting item, functioning like most like the banana gun as a one ammo item. The item would be itself be held like the staff, and when fired it creates a cubic block that's similar in size to the crate. The block would have collision and could be stood on and picked up by the user or the user's team, even if team attack is on. The block would have grabbable ledges, though these could only be used by allies. When picked up, it can be thrown like a crate. It would maintain its orientation in midair. Any opponent that touches the block would take a small amount of damage, like 3%, and knockback, mostly aimed upwards. It should be noted that the hitbox for this damage is slightly above the bottom of the block, so it can't two-flame. Two-flame? Two-frame. Oh my gosh, English is failing me today. I apologize. The block has a timed life of 10 seconds. If hit with any attack, the block will be knocked back. While it's not much, it's enough so that get-up attacks and ledge drop fair can create space to move the block if the block is dropped on a ledge. Upon destruction, either through automatic self-damage or the opponent's attacks, it would fire 4 slow, high-damage projectiles in a plus shape around it. The Cane of Samaria and the block it creates would have a number of interesting applications in a platform fighter. First and foremost, one could use it to stall and deny stage area. Similar to how Steve might use blocks to keep opponents away. Its use in ledge trapping is also clear. Drop it on the ledge to force the opponent into using ledge drop aerials or get up attacks. Or keep it further away to cover rolls. Hold on, I think I just lost my place there. 1 second. While making it harder to harm the block itself. The block could also be used for edge guards, as throwing or dropping the block off the ledge would cover many options. This is a fun idea. I like the idea of Samaria. Other options would use it. Dyslexia. And I can read them fine, but they just come out of my word. It's the opposite of dyslexia. I can read fine, they just get mixed up on the way out of my mouth. Essentially, this item would bring some of the absurd stuff that Steve can do to every character, making it a tool with a number of creative applications, though perhaps a bit of unfair to go up against. That could have some fun implications with Steve, though. I do like the idea behind that. Podcast title. That would actually work really well. Okay, let me grab some water real quick. I think in the interest of getting through all these, I'm going to start skimming a little bit more just because I want to get to all these items, ideas, because I'm really loving the thought process behind them. So, versus Seeker, Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green. Let the user rematch Pokemon trainers if they had already fought them. So in this game, it's a gear item, again, like the Franklin badge. And when picked up, the user will have a small animation of them holding the item up in one hand. So kind of like the Pac-Man thing. The flag, the 1-up flag. I can't remember what its actual name is, but you know what I'm talking about. In a 2-player match, a small double exclamation point will appear above the player's head. We'll get a small damage boost and a small reduction to damage taken. It's not very interesting in 1v1s, but When there are more players, it will target the closest opposing player with the exclamation point appearing above their head. You will get a powerful damage boost and reduction. However, the initiator and the target will only be able to damage each other. Oh, that's good. Though they can still be damaged by any other player in the match. So it forces a duel. I love that. Oh, that's so good. And other players that you're playing with can either honor that or just try to mess with the honor of the duel. Oh, it's so good. One when it's downright boring, correct. And that's fine for an item not to be as good in certain settings. It's got a whole point of items. Ah, just the amount of chaos that can make. And you can't fight it back against anyone else. You can only hit each other. Oh, that just imagine the joy of just having like a room full of people and just the chaos that arises when people, no, let me fight Craig. I want to fight Craig. I can't hit you. That's not fair. Oh, it'd be so good. All right, next up, plasma hats. That isn't technically anything from Kirby. Instead, it's attempt to universalize the plasma ability. Fairly uncommon ability from the Kirby series. Yeah, it's from Kirby Superstar. Only new melee game it's in its star ally, so the plasma's usage has been partially absorbed into Spark for a while. This is going to stick with the base concept of plasma, though. How this works is every time you move in a new direction, the ability charges. Charge slowly depletes over time, you can be now fully depleted by firing the projectile. It becomes much stronger at higher levels of charge. I think I can see where this is going. It's a shooting item when picked up and put on a player's head. I like this mirroring of Kirby's hats, that now everybody else in the roster can get some of Kirby's hats. Like, it's now going both ways. That's adorable. Yo, that's actually a really good idea for a lot of different items, though. Like, just turning each of Kirby's hats into something that any character could wear. That'd be really fun. But yeah, it works the same way as Plasma does. Moving in a direction, increases the charge, and it will deplete slowly over time. As with all shooting items, pressing A will fire a projectile, but its properties will depend on the amount of charge currently stored. With the charge being the same as the regular projectiles from the plasma attack. Yeah, it's got the small burst for the low one, got the arrow projectile for the medium, got kind of a Thoron, fully charged Thoron for the high, and at the very highest, fully charged shots. Travels through walls and opponents, has high knockback, basically a final smash. Which I like, that's cool. Ooh, this is fun. Additionally, at maximum charge, the user's shield will deal a bit of damage to anyone who hits it. It's weird how there aren't any items like that in the game, now that I think about it. Just items that specifically mess with your shield. There's a lot you can do with that. I like this a lot. Yeah, it speaks for itself. Stomper boot, yes. Yeah, it basically works as a Goomba shoe. You just jump around in it. Stomper boot as an item doesn't exactly have an existing item category, so there's one thing I don't have to work around. After getting in the boot, the user's movement would change. Moving left or right would now consist of a series of low jumps with the user's... let's call this a mount item. A new mount item. Now consists of a series of low jumps with the user's air acceleration being low to make this movement committal. Jumping into an enemy from the side will deal a small amount of damage, but will also deplete the boot's health. Pressing the jump button will cause the boot to jump high in the air, after which the jump boot will fall down and deal damage, around 15% to anything in its path. if the user times the jump press as they collide with an opponent, the opponent will take increased damage and be spiked. On a correctly timed jump, the boot will bounce upwards for another jump, letting it change direction quickly in midair. However, the boot is a limited duration item. It initially starts out with a health pool of about 50% and takes about 5% per second along its duration. If it runs into an opponent during its normal walk, this is depleted by about 5%, and if the boot is hit by an enemy attack, it will obviously take damage. However, this damage does not carry over to the rider, who will be dismounted from the boot upon its destruction. The rider can also dismount early using the grab button, for what is essentially a free mid-air jump. That's an interesting new addition. I like that idea. Because, like, by making this an item, you also make kind of any other, like, you could have a minecart mount from Donkey Kong, for example. It's a can of worms you're opening here, and I like that. Now, E.X.O wants a picture of the plant wearing a boot, Franklin badge, jetpack, and plasma hat. That would be glorious. Low effort item here by their own description. Kong letters. Combine them together like the Dragoon or Daybreak. Rather 4, and rather than being super... Okay, so yeah, get all the Kong letters, you get an extra life. It's simple, it's effective, I like it. I mean, yes, I did say that before Rambi, but I feel like Rambi deserves more assist trophy status. He's a living, breathing character, and he deserves better than item. Although he could be an item. Maybe make the friend barrel itself an item. I don't know. Anyway, Devil Axe. Current item in the Fire Emblem series. Creates high reward for high risk. When it hits an enemy, there's a small chance for the attack to backfire, hitting the user instead of their enemy. Works like things like the Ore Club. Its jab is its fantastic attack. So basically, it works like a Devil Axe. Yeah. You use it, it might hit you instead. Power, it's quite unsafe on shield. Yeah. 10% chance to backfire. Dealing all of its damage and knockback to the weapon's user. Can you even trigger when you throw in Devil Axe? That's, yeah, it's simple, it's fun, I like that. And if it backfires, it's based on the opponent's percent, not the wielder's. Ooh. That would be really funny. Like, you're at 0%, you hit somebody at 150, but it's based on their percent, so it instantly kills you. That'd be really great. Yeah, now that it's pointed out to me, 3X, I'm kind of surprised this isn't in Smash. That works so well. Alright, next up, Night Ring. When equipped on an item, it gives them the ability to use any remaining movement after acting. Oh yeah, okay, interesting. How does this work? When picked up by a unit, it allows them to use granted movement during the ending lag of their animations. This applies to both walking and dashing. Interesting. Okay, yeah. So you can move while still in your animations. The animations would look strange, as said here, but like, there's a lot of strange animations with items, and I think that's fine, honestly. It basically lets you glide around while using items. Additionally, the user can't fall off of ledges while in lag to prevent situations where the wearer of the Night Ring could make strong attacks essentially lagless. Huh. It's not a very, like, glamorous or hype item, but that could use some, that could have some insane utility. Yeah, I'd love to see a game mode around that. That'd be fascinating. Alright, Lightning Armor. Metric Samus returns. It's the one that made her invincible, right? Yep. This will be a transformation item. When picked up, a small yellow gauge will appear above the player's head, and they'll be enveloped in a green electric effect. When hit, the user won't take any damage, and will only take half knockback. However, the yellow gauge above their head will be depleted. The gauge can take about 35% worth of damage before being fully depleted. Any damage that goes above the remaining health of the armor will be transferred directly to the holder, though they will still only take half knockback from the attack. However, the gauge can also be depleted when the user of the lightning armor uses a smash attack. Depleted by 1/2, and the smash attacks will be empowered, gaining an electrical effect and dealing bonus damage, as well as increasing hit stun and block stun, and inflicting extra shield damage. Interesting! How do digitless characters like Kirby, Rob, and Plant wear the ring? I imagine Plant wears it like a choker. Rob has it around its cords. And then Kirby... an earring? I don't know. Kirby doesn't have ears either. I don't know. But I like this one a lot. It's an interesting take on a more, like... It's kind of like the Invincible Star, but obviously not full invincibility, but also... also being more empowered. I want to reword that. You know what I meant. I'm kind of surprised there's not more transformation items like this. Clearly Kirby wears it like a belt. Yes! Okay, Artillery Claws. Kid Icarus. These would be a shooting item. When the fire button is held, the Artillery Claws will... Okay, so it's like Meowth's Pokeball. Interesting. Bit less spread and pretty good range. Despite its better than average range and decent damage, the attack pushes opponents back quickly and consumes the claw's ammo very quickly. But you can walk around like the Super Scope, and for a bit of added extra complexity, if you quickly double tap forwards or backwards while shooting, you can do a forward or back dash shot. Both of those have a lot of startup and end lag and have useful projectile properties. Oh my gosh. The forward dash shot can kill at high percent. Oh my gosh, I need more water. I clearly need more water. Backdash shot is difficult to punish, but since it gives up ground, it's not super useful to spam it. When thrown, the Artillery Claws actually do a fair bit of damage as well, more than most shooting items, but have very small hitbox and nearly no knockback. I just like the idea of having that scatter shot while you're moving. Kind of like the what's it called from Skyward Sword? The Gale shoots wind, the Gale Jar, something. You all know what I'm talking about, but having that, but with damage. Could be neat. Next, we've got the Harp from the original Kid Icarus. Doesn't really have a great category, so you're putting it in the effect category because it's a bit of a catch-all. Another hold it above the head sort of thing. Can be interrupted if the player is hit. Okay, now used. All the items currently in use. All items in currently use. Hold on. Okay, I need to read this properly. So once it's done, every item on the ground turns into a mallet. Pressing the A button, the user will do a single swing of their animation with a hammer, then on hit or block, the mallet is destroyed. Okay. So it completely cancels out... Gust Bellows, thank you! Gosh, that was driving me nuts. So you basically cancel out any, Link can no longer pull bombs here. He can only pull out mallets, which is actually kind of a buff in this case. This is interesting. Yeah, like you said, CharjabugMan. Peach would pull mallets out of the ground. Also has one other unique function. During the duration of the harp's effects, not only are all items transformed into mallets, but all projectiles are changed into a thrown mallet with the same speed and direction as the original projectile. The Nikita missile launcher, now a Nikita mallet launcher. Din's fire is now just a tactical mallet drop. Even special moves that create items, like Diddy or Peach's down special, now solely create mallets. That's just funny. Like, for some characters that would be much better, for some other characters that would be much worse. But I just love the idea that the mental image of just all these projectile-focused characters all just throwing hammers at each other. That'd be hilarious. It's just, yeah, sure, it's just a door. It's just a door. You know what a door is, I'm not explaining this. It's a throwing item using this in-hand model for Minecraft. When thrown, it will go up to its full size and sit there on the stage. When hit, the door will open for a short duration, allowing players to move through it. If a player is knocked into the door, it functions as a wall, but will be knocked open. Interesting. It's just a portable wall. Kind of like a very small Alolan Executor that you get from Pokeballs. That's fun. I like that. Simple, easy to remember. Shield Snatcher. The Shield Snatcher is a battering item. Its jab is very boring, a small little sticky hand slap. Move is active for a while, but it has short range and deals low damage, making it not the best except for when you need to hit someone in close range. Side Tilt has really long range, rivaling the Beam Sword, but is slow. It does pretty good damage as well, so it's a strong pressure tool. Dash attack is similar to the Side Tilt. And the Shield Snatcher's forward smash can be angled slightly and will drag opponents into mid-range. It does less damage, but its utility is what's most helpful. However, the most unique function of the Shield Snatcher is actually its throw. For any throw other than the neutral drop, the sticky hand will be launched out as a projectile. If it hits a wall, floor, or ceiling, the user of the sticky hand will be dragged towards the terrain, allowing for unique movement and recovery tools. If the throw hits an enemy, it doesn't do much damage or knockback, but if the thrown hand hits an enemy's shield, their shield will get snatched for about 10 seconds. While in this state, the enemy will not be able to shield at all. That's fantastic. I love it. I mean, yeah, Pierre, if you look into the dictionary for the definition of a door, it is just a very small Alolan Executor. Everyone knows this. This is a fun one. Might actually make Smash Brothers more enjoyable, having to actually dodge attacks instead of shielding them. Having played a lot more platform fighters, like, it's so much more fun having to rely on more pinpoint defensive options. So all doors are dragon types. Yes. The terrifying door dragon. Good question, E.X.O. Can Inkling still regain ink while her shield is snatched? While her Sneal is snatched? Casey Bats does very exceptionally high damage, but has a very low chance to hit. Attacks are essentially identical to the home run bat, but they have a 75% chance of dealing absolutely no knockback. That's fun. Yeah, simple. Effective. I like it. Oh, I was hoping the Xenoblade game you were talking about was X. Yes! Taking the guns from the mechs. Yes! I love it. Alright. Antimatter R would be a shooting item. When the item is first picked up, A fairly long 2 to 3 second animation will play where the weapon is extended to its full length so that it is able to fire. If the character holding the item gets launched before this animation is finished, the item will be dropped on the ground. Once fully extended, the player can walk around and aim the gun up and down, similar to the firework launcher from Brawl. However, they will drop the fully extended gun if launched. After it's extended, the user can fire a fast, unreflectable projectile, after which the gun will be destroyed. So it's a very hard gun to fire, but it deals insane damage and can be fired in any direction. Oh, that's fun. AoE that's about 1.75 the radius of Giga Flare? Jeez! And a direct hit is about 80% until. That's just so fun! Like, it's harder to, like, even get set up than a home run bat, and everyone's going to be fighting over it, but once it actually fires, just duck and cover. Oh, that's really fun. I love that. Then the other one, multi-gun. This is a battering item, despite the fact that it fires projectiles. Most characters would wear the multi-gun on their arms, similar to how it works in-game. The multi-gun's jab is based on its art missile barrel. A single A press will fire one missile that does the low damage. By mashing the button, up to 4 missiles can be fired. They are similar to Samus's missile while homing. Jab is mainly used in neutral, or the side tilt won't hit and the spike smash will be too slow. Side tilt is sniper barrel. It's a single fast projectile at long range. Small hitbox, long recovery. Mostly a poke, okay. Dash attack is based on the auto attack and it's 2 hits. And the side smash is the cannon barrel, firing slow-moving projectiles that home in on the enemy. The unique thing about this forward smash is that it trips grounded opponents and spikes aerial ones. Ooh! I like that. Yeah! It's a fun way to get a lot of different utility out of a single shooting item. I like that. Next up is the Disruptor, sub-weapon from Splatoon. This would be a throwing item. It will explode on impact with a surface, dealing no damage but inflicting the debuff on a small radius. This is the thing that, yeah, it lowers their movement speed and recovery rate and makes them visible even if they were swimming. Somewhat reduces the opponent's walk and dash speeds, air acceleration, and shield regeneration. It will also nerf certain character-specific mechanics, such as Lucario's Aura, Cloud's Limit, Shulk's Monado Arts, Kincaid Rule's Belly Armor. It's a lot to program, but I like the... I just like character-specific stuff in general. Like, it's nice to see that little extra attention to detail being taken. So even if this is harder to make, I'm down for this. I wish there was more of this in the game. I like it. Not particularly interesting on its own, but has a lot of fun utility. Next up is the Bomb Launcher. Launches bombs. Pretty simple. Let the user fire bombs quickly and at long range than the average squid throws can muster. You can have the Splat Bomb, Burst Bomb, Suction Bomb, Auto Bomb, and Curling Bomb. Oh no, this is just describing how it works in Splatoon. Sorry. Functioning as a ranged equivalent. Oh, can you not control this? Yeah, you pick it up and you just start firing bombs randomly. Yes. Oh, I'm down. That sounds fun. That sounds really fun. And there's 3 different versions. One is the Burst Bomb, just fire on impact. Splat Bomb is just Inklings down special. And then Suction Bomb sticks to things. I like it. Nice. Oh, hold on. Give me just 1 minute. I'm being asked a question. Like, real life. One second. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, he's gone. Let's talk about how Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the best in the series. I will not go off on that tangent. I will resist. Where was I? Oh yeah, bomb launcher. This sounds really fun because you know when you pick up the cracker launcher in Brawl and just immediately start firing like crazy? That's basically what we're doing for here, except you don't have a choice whether you start firing like crazy or not. And that's just really fun. Alright, next up, the Demon Meter. Taking inspiration from the Street Fighter series, it's not anything like it. Wanted to reference a character-specific move. Okay, kind of based off of Street Fighter 2's Turbo Meter because it's the simplest meter design in the workaround. And it's Akuma, who originated in Street Fighter 2. The Demon Meter will be a transformation item. Once picked up, a small meter that looks like the SSF2T meter would appear over the character's head, and they gain a dark aura around them. Additionally, turns Ryu into Evil Ryu. Nice, that's a nice touch. The meter will charge when the item's user hits any attack, gets hit, or uses a special move. When full, the word Super will replace the meter. The user of the item can now press A and B to consume the Rage Meter and use Akuma's signature attack, the Raging Demon. Also has its own input. The attack is a command grab that is very fast. It's an exceptional punish option. It's very high damage. Please say that, like, the character actually does it. Whose access to the meter aura will disappear until they pick it up, unless playing with the item turned on for special smash. As an aesthetic touch, the special is so feasible. Have visual differences based on the attack. For example, Pit does the ending pose in front of the Palutena symbol. Like, maybe just have them do, like, various, like, smash attack animations throughout it. Oh, that would... It would be a lot of work, but it would be so cool. Please tell me the Raging Demon can't actually kill anyone as a reference to the Street Fighter series. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things you could do with that. Just using that with various characters, depending on how much work you were willing to put into it. Yeah, I love that. That's really cool. I'm just picturing somebody like Isabelle doing this. Just her eyes glowing red as she's just hitting you with with signposts and party poppers. That'd be really funny. Alright, one more, I think. Yes. The Master Sign. This one is going to originate in Smash. Okay, so it's just the Smash symbol. Literally the Smash symbol as an item. Shares its animation with the special flag. Once that's done, you hold it up like the special flag, and once you do, it has a small symbol appear under their stalks. The symbol cannot be removed except in one way. Once a player gets 3 symbols, all 3 will disappear, and the player will be surrounded by a gold aura. This aura can only be lost by dying, and by using it, the player can now... can now press A and B to simultaneously offer up their stock. If they do this, they will instantly transform into Master Hand for the next 20 seconds. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Oh, that's sick! Doing the same World of Light thing. Has 150 hit points. You get 3 of them. You sacrifice your stock and you get to play as Master Hand. That's such a good way of bringing that into the base game. Oh! I think that might be my favorite one of these so far. And, like, imagine doing that with the rest of the bosses, too. Like, you'd have the 3 Triforce pieces and that turns you into Ganon or something like that. Oh, yes, just playable bosses, please. That's such a cool idea. And that's the perfect way to do it. It's an obvious thing to try to compete over. Oh, man. There's a lot of cool item ideas here. Apologize for not reading all of this, but I wanted to get to every single one. But, like, let's go back up to the table of contents to better talk about all of them. So, I think some of my favorites... Versus Seeker is so funny. I love that so much right now. Like, sure the functionality is a little bit simple, but what it can do for team games is so funny. I think Devil Axe is a no-brainer. I'm kind of surprised it's not in the game. That simple risk-reward would lead to some great moments. Door is funny. Not much utility, but it's just funny. Antimatter R, also great. I really like those items where there's a huge risk for just picking them up. Things like the special flag, things like, to a lesser extent, assist trophies, just because you can get hit once you were trying to summon them. But that sort of mindset is a really fun, like, way to add to the chaos of a multiplayer Smash game. Bomb Launcher's great. Demon Meter is amazing. And then Master Sign is just, oh. Looking back at them, I don't know if I'd actually call it the best one, because there's so many good ones here. But yeah, like, and like, they're all good. Don't get me wrong, all of these are really, really good. It's kind of a nice breath of fresh air. Just to have ideas centered around items for once. Because, like, not to disrespect any Smash Brothers character concepts, those are always a lot of fun to make, but you just don't see this a lot. And items are a very important part of the game. Most people play with them on. Have some ideas thrown towards the more casual audience. And I think these were all really great. If anybody here knows any of, like, the Smash Flash 2 developers, or any other fan games like that, get them to start getting on some of these, because these are all really good. Alright. Well done, 3X. This was a lot of fun to read. Actually, before we move on, I kind of just want to ask chat, just for the fun of it, are there any other items that you have ideas for? Just because it gets brought up so rarely, and this is a great option for, like, having some fun discussions. Franrib says the portal gun. That's interesting, yeah. Oh god. CharjabugMan just Porygon as a Pokeball Pokemon and just make it flash, the screen flash red and blue. Just give people seizures. It's a very meta strategy for fighting your opponents. Ender Pearl's great. That's the functionality that's lets you teleport to wherever it lands. Sonic Shield would be an interesting thing to equip. Steel Barrel to run over. Sukapon and Bounty right on his head and can use his attacks. Yes, just ride Sukapon piggyback. PhazoGanon from Gary's mod. Oh man, there's a lot here. Double Cherry, yes! That one, I want that one. Phoenix Down could be interesting. Have it only in team battles and you can revive your teammate if they're dead. Cutter Boomerang from Kirby, Chaos Emerald, Chaos Emeralds. Collect all 7. You become a super version of your character. Spam an assist trophy, love that. Ooh, the Dark Cannon from Subspace Emissary. That's interesting. Just create that bomb. Instantly swallows people up. Or some Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem here is gonna let you shoot Hector at people, yes. Ooh, Sleep Stat from Fire Emblem, I really like that one. That's a funny concept. Whack your opponent and you knock them out. Alright. Yeah, like I said, it's not something that gets brought up very much, but even just now, there's so much potential to use that with that. To design space that people just don't dive into very often. Okay, now we can move on to our next one. Right. We have an idea from somebody in the chat right now. CharjabugMan has an interesting idea for the next Mario sports game. Who doesn't love a good fishing minigame? And who better to explore this idea than the Big M himself? With plenty to pull from, CharjabugMan thinks that a Mario fishing game could be a seriously good time. The game would be split between a few courses where players can explore and fish to their heart's content. These courses would be 3D spaces with light platforming in order to maneuver and find nooks and crannies to fish in. Each course will have its own section as in the Seastiary, a collection of fish available in the game. The fishing itself will have 3 phases. The first phase is the aim phase. You'll ready your character, input your aim and power, and cast your rod. This can be used to target a fish in a large body of water, or to aim from a small area to perhaps uncover secrets. This phase can be skipped via quick casting. We'll just cast your rod in a direct distance based on the terrain. Motion controls can be used to make quick casting more precise. The second phase is the lure phase. Once your bob is in the water, you can maneuver around within a limited space. This adds to the more fantastical feel of the game, justifying its place in the Mario universe beyond the characters. The lure phase ends once you successfully get a fish on your line. In some instances, it will be near instant, but in others, you will need to do specific maneuvers to bait picky fish. Most, however, will just be a bit hesitant. The last phase is the reel phase. Now you finally get your chance to haul in your catch. Mash, input a sequence of button presses, and more to reel in your fish. Sometimes you might even have to do something a bit trickier, like wearing out the fish or slamming it into a wall. Even still, tougher fish will have a health bar which must be depleted before reeling, which can sometimes necessitate hooking them multiple times. Boss fish will be the toughest challenges you can face. Some mini-bosses are just harder fish, requiring tenacity to reel them in. Examples include the boss bass, the porky puffer, chief chomp, and more. Each area will also have 1 or 2 major bosses, which will push your fishing limits to the max, some even requiring very unorthodox methods, even by this game's standards. So, already, I am loving this idea. Because, like, if anyone remembers, was it We Play? There was the competitive fishing minigame in that. And, like, fishing minigames can be surprisingly, like, intense. Oh, god damn it! Just read one day Duke will remember. There we go. There you go, y'all can read along with me. Sorry. But yeah, wouldn't this be so fun? Just like, imagine the, in the latest Mario Golf game, the one that was, I was about to say this bare bones sports game, that doesn't really narrow it down, does it? But like, just being able to run around a, large, like, area, around a lake, and just try to fish and catch the most in a set amount of time. You can catch claptraps on the DK map, exactly! There's a lot of room to do stuff with this. You will be able to customize many aspects of your gameplay, both mechanically and aesthetically. You will have several rods and tackle boxes to choose from, and you can add stickers to them for even more personal flair. You can also choose between a plethora of bombs. Certain quirks can also be applied to these items in order to max your playstyle, be it more precise aiming, more efficient luring, or even buffs in the overworld. Many of these items will be obtained by talking to NPCs in the hub and courses, and the hub is where currency can be exchanged for upgrades and equipment. It's also home to your aquarium, which houses every type of fish you catch, very similarly to Animal Crossing's. Characters will be largely aesthetic, but also have minor quirks to help them stand out a bit. For example, Bowser can assist greatly with mashing, while Peach gives more lenience with sequencing. Just a list of characters. Got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, Toadette, Yoshi, Birdo, Wario, Waluigi, Rosie, Pianta, okay, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Kamek, King Boo, Koopa Troopa, Sniffit, specifically the Sniffit of the Shy Guy, I like it. But how does Bully use a fishing rod? Charjabug, you're in the chat. Now, I need an answer to this question. How does Bully use a fishing rod? We got Lakitu, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie, Cranky. Respect for the DK characters. Even K. Rool, nice. And a fishing boo, because you kind of have to for a fishing game. I like it. Trying their best willpower. It can do anything. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Same way Goomba uses a baseball bat. Alright. Got some fun courses here. Toadstool Lagoon. Basic grass slime theme with an underground themed cave as well. Boss Bats and Spike Bats are mini bosses here, with the main boss being the Cheap Skipper. Hailing from the new Super Mario Bros. Toadstool Lagoon. It's the smallest area in the game. We got Breezy Beach, beach-themed area. You got the Gooper Blooper, Sushi, Dragon Eel, and the main bosses are the Unagi, Guppy, and Ely Mouth. Like, there's so much stuff you can grab from these games. Mario has had so many water levels that this could actually be a really in-depth game. I'm really loving this. I got Iceberg Lake. Got Dory and the Big Urchin. I don't know if I could hook Dory with a clear conscience. I kind of want them to be more of a platform, almost. The Musk Lancer and the Kingfin as the bosses. Oh, this game could be legitimately intense with some of these bosses, like, if you really think about it. Like, just imagine hooking this thing. And having, like, multiple people trying to catch it at once. Oh my gosh, this could actually be really fun. I agree, Sea Explosion. There's a real passion for Mario being shown through this. Like, it's actually putting a smile on my face. Got the Fizz Jungle. We got Jumbo Ray and the Wiggler as two of the main bosses, with the main ones being Phantom Manta and PD Patootie. Yes! I love it. Yo, Charjabug, did you draw this yourself? Because it's good. I like it. We got the dreary mountain here with the Porcupuffer and the Claw Grip and the Big Boo. Bowser's Moat. It's just a lava area. Blarg and Koopa Koi are the mini bosses of the area, with Charvarog, Ancient Blarg, and the Dragodon as well. Like, again, imagine fishing this thing up. You're just a bully, somehow carrying a fishing rod for sheer force of will, struggling against a gigantic dragon. That'd be so cool. The final boss of the game is the scourge of fishermen everywhere, the terrifying Blue Thulu. Fear its power. Yes, I love it so much. Oh, the end. I kind of only gave this a glance over because I was like, oh, Mario fishing, this would be fun, but like reading it over in depth, like this is my most wanted Mario sports game now. This sounds so much more fun than just the next golf game or the next tennis game. Like this is interesting. There's not really anything like this on like video game consoles in general right now. Just taking the basic act of fishing and just injecting like the Mario sports flavor to it. Oh, this would be so good. And like imagine like trying to add in like guest characters into this. Like Link comes in with a Hylia Lake style place and you can just fish up like various Zelda bosses. Do the same with Metroid. Samus is fishing with her grapple beam. Oh my gosh, this might be one of my most wanted Nintendo games now. This is really good. I can't believe I'm feeling this passionate about fishing. I think if done right, I think this would unironically outsell like the other Mario sports games. Like if you really show just how much of a celebration of Mario's history this is, because that is what this is, you could have something special on your hands. Yeah, maybe like throw this idea at a few like lower level Nintendo people. Like this is something that I could legitimately see like taking off if the right person hears it. Yeah, this is just great. The only thing feedback I could think to give is just more characters, more areas, because the groundwork being set here is so solid. Please read the fine print of the mountain stage. Sure thing, sure thing. Dreary Mountain, where is the fine print? A foggy area with many hidey holes to check. A large haunted manor with a broken roof can be reached as well. Cast your line into mole holes in order to catch Monty Moles as an Easter egg. There is so much just small little details being placed here. I'm impressed by how thorough of this is at presenting an entire video game concept here. Like, we've just today read it significantly longer things just about individual characters in the game, but this is... Has anybody seen Sakurai's just a little video on presenting an idea. This does that impeccably well. You got one page just kind of detailing how the game works, and just little, like, visual images to give an idea of what else is in it. And it just sells it. It sells it so hard. Yeah, I love this. This is one of my favorite ideas I've read. I want to play this game. I want to play this game really, really badly. Yeah, well done, Charjabug. That was fantastic. I loved reading that. Alright. Next up, move these around a little bit, get the next thing up. I am going to remember to share the link immediately this time. There we go, there we go. I'm learning. Go ahead and paste this in the chat. It's funny that you're saying that, PhazoGanon, because guess who's next? This is PhazoGanon's concept on Sonic being redesigned in Smash Brothers. That was perfect timing, PhazoGanon. Well done. Alright, so first off, if you want to know what on earth Super Smash Bros. E.X.O is, you can check out this document here. We'll briefly glance over this just to kind of get the idea. I'll read the first page of this. That's ultimate overall. What is... Wait a second. Is this like an actual... Hold on a second. Is this an actual mod? One second. I'm gonna skim over this real quick. Higher speed of make games balance possible. Higher priority. Different characters being on balance. Mechanics. Hang on. Because I grabbed this because I saw like they were actually animations. Is this an actual functional mod? Also made a trailer for... Yo, hang on. 1 second. I didn't read this fully. This might be significantly more in depth than I first thought upon reading it. We have a trailer to watch. So give me a second to get this set up. Oh, how do I do this? Can I hide the overlay real quick? Yeah, okay, here we go.
You're too slow.
Yo!
Here, I'll show you.
Yo! I was not ready for this! Dude! Was that a rapid jab? Oh, he's so much more expressive. Look at him. Oh, that's so good. It's got the Project M axe kick. Yes. Oh, this looks so fun. I love how much more his moves are flowing into each other. You can see the more aggressive style just in how he's playing him right now. Like, look at those combos! This got the drop dash too. Yes! Hell yes! Dude! Oh my god! You know, unironically, my favorite thing about that was just how much more expressive he was there. This took you months? Oh my gosh! Oh, that was so good. Okay, let me get... I need to take a second just to recover from that. That was so cool! He's got the smirk, he's got multiple different, like, moves in there. You got the jet set radio thing from Project M. Okay! Gotta take this guy seriously. Alright then. I see you, PhazoGanon. Let's get the overlay back up. Yeah, I believe that took months. Alright, so this is an actual introduction to a full-on mod that PhazoGanon is making, and what a first impression, dude! Well done! Alright, so we got a little legend here. Green indicates a change that buffs the character, red is a nerf, brown is a mix of a nerf or a buff, blue is an overhaul to have a move or mechanic works, and purple is a planned change or overhaul. Anyway, dude, you actually made the concept. Like, that's a whole nother level. Peer asks, can you fix Titty 2? Also plumbing, because you think you can patch anything. Yes. Like, please, like, I will happily sidetrack for a second. Like, do you have anything else? Like, hold on. We're gonna, hold on. Let's get the music back on. I want to really quick go back to that. Let's check out PhazoGanon's channel. Oh, there's testing things. Yes. Okay, hold on. Okay, we are temporarily diverting our attention from Peasant's perspective. Well, this is technically Peasant's perspective. Just somebody brought a freaking game with them. Okay, hold on. I got. Check out Lucario testing first. Oh, yo, look at that costume! Yo! What's this? Lucario looks fun? No disrespect to Lucario mains, but, like, this looks fun to control. Look at this! That's great. Let's go back. Dark Samus Charge Shot. Hello? Interesting. It's a charge shot, though, so does it, like, get smaller as you charged it? Yo! It gets smaller and faster! Oh, I love the sound design on that! Oh, that is sexy! Ooh, I love that. I love that so much. Yo, please plug the Discord if you have it. Actually, it might just be... Hang on, I'll do it myself if I can find it in the Twitter, Discord. Here we go. Found it. This is PhazoGanon's E.X.O mod. Like, yo, everyone check that out, please. That oh my god. I was not expecting to be this blown away by this. Oh, let's get the music back up. And then grab it back onto this. Alright, you said to check out the Ganondorf changes on the main. Like, there's a lot of stuff here. Like, edge canceling, wave dashing buffed, air dodge overhaul. Like, the actual mechanics are being changed here. Drop through platforms while you're doing all sorts of things. Dacus is back. It's music additions. Some music There's a music document?! Oh gosh, oh god. There's 82. I can't go through all of this, but I'll go specifically to the Ganondorf changes. I'm gonna bookmark this real quick, because I want to come back and read this after the stream's done. Fox, we just kept fucking... This is just release order, so Ganondorf should be around. None. Am I missing something here? I'm seeing to check out the Ganondorf. He's like treated as a newcomer at the end. Well, I hope. Oh, I forgot to put the overlay back. What the? What? Are you? Give that. Oh, this is Ganondorf's. That's so good. But that's so perfect though. Replace Ganondorf's moveset and put it on Senator Armstrong. That's a match made in heaven. Oh my god. Oh, that's so good. That is the best suggestion for a Ganondorf replacement I've ever seen. Like, Black Shadow's good, Hades is fun, but like that's the first place trophy. That's the gold star. That's so great. I love it. I love it so much. I'm just gonna kind of scroll. Is there any other like weird, amazing replacements like that? Okay, we're not that crazy. Wow. Okay. That made me happy. That made me so happy. Okay, let's read the actual thing we came to read here. Okay. All right. Sonic. He's quite the enigma in Smash. Despite being one of the most popular and beloved characters that have been added to the series and causing so much hype when he was initially added in Brawl, so much so that it was probably the first time the internet broke. Over time, and with 2 new entries to the Smash Bros. Series that have barely changed his moveset, he has slowly become one of the most despised and poorly designed fighters in Smash Bros. Ultimate. His moveset currently doesn't gel well with an aggressive playstyle at all. Sonic has a lot of moves where he just balls up, his normals aren't sufficient enough to incentivize getting in and playing aggressively, and his specials have too much camping potential, and his high speed only further incentivizes running away. Now, while Sakurai and his team usually do a very good job at making movesets that work for fighters and represent their series, especially in Ultimates, he's not perfect at it, and quite a few fighters like Sonic aren't up to the modern standards anymore. So, how should we change him? To be more representative of his series and make him less annoying to fight? Well, incentivize him being the fastest thing alive to allow him to overwhelm his opponents with his sheer speed, which in turn should make him a much more aggressive fighter akin to that of Captain Falcon. I've gone about this by increasing how much reward he can get off his normals, whilst also reworking his specials to either prioritize an aggressive playstyle or nerf their camping potential to the point of making it so that the most effective playstyle for Sonic is a rush-down fighter. How do I go about this endeavor? By changing his normals to be more in line with being a combo rushdown fighter, alongside making him a better representation of moves that Sonic has been able to do. Uses the Type G design, which we saw. It's the more expressive one. So guys, I love that I don't actually have to read these as much. People can just go play the mod to see them. Enters the battle via ring portal. Oh, like that. Genesis damage sound will play when he's KO'd, and it will splatter rings. That's great. I love that. And now uses the Brawl KO sound. And I thought these were just like fun animations, but no, these like actually exist in game. Let's wait 2 animation. Look at his wrist while looking at the watch. Okay, cool. You'll actually rest down if you take too much. After waiting 3 minutes in the second wait 2 animation, Sonic will get up with an angered expression, wag his finger, look down, and jump into the foreground, and by proxy losing a stock. He is so anti-camping that if you go AFK, he'll just leave the match. You made all of these animations? Dude! These are really good! Like, these look official! Dude! And he's got the finger waggle. I can't believe that current base Sonic doesn't have the finger waggle anywhere. Like, come on! Ledge Teeter is now a mix between Smash 4 and Brawl's Ledge Teeter. Look at it, and he's got his eyes more expressive too. Double jump has been placed from new. Like, this is everything! Oh my gosh! Oh my... I'm sorry that I'm kind of just speechless here. Cause I'm just... I'm blown away. And this is just idle animations. You put this much work into such small pieces? Go submit your resume to Nintendo already. Goodness. Sonic Win 3 has been changed to the S tier victory animation with Sonic Generations. Look at this. Break dances and just stops in the paint me like your French girls pose. That's so good. That's so good. Actually speaks during his taunts. Nice. The come on, step it up is back. Yes. I miss this so much. It's one of the worst removals from Smash Brothers. You're Too Slow is back as well. Oh my god, Sonic actually has a personality again. Yes. Once I make my Sonic video, I need to reach out to you, like, for footage. Just for a more expressive Sonic, cause like look at this! It's so good! Special Fall has been changed, he looks much cooler. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna skim over the stats. Check out the sign. Oh, yeah, there's signposts. Hold on. Where? Where's the Carbon? 1 second. I might not be able to access this with my current... Oh, this is just... Hold on. Oh, this one. This. Yo! Oh my gosh! Hang on, okay, I'm gonna go full screen so you guys can see that properly. Overlay, remove the overlay again. Look at that! That's so good! Oh, that's so fun. Alright, you all better go subscribe to Crash and Smash so I can get to work on that Sonic video, because now I got the best inspiration possible to start working on that. Oh, I love how expressive he is. Like, it's hard to notice it, like, while you're playing Smash Ultimate, but when you see the comparison, oh, it's so much better. It's so much better. He's got a rapid jab now based on the Sonic movie. That's so cool. And, like, that fits him so well. Like, a speedster like him, moving rapid fire like that, that's perfect. His dash attack has been changed to the slide. They can be put at high speeds in modern Sonic games. Nice. Up tilt and change to the Sonic Updraft. Nice, more of a flip kick. Cool. Down tilt is a sweep kick. Oh, nice. It's like it's two hits twice. I like it. Up smash turns into the Thunder Shield for 3 seconds when parrying a move. Nice. Oh, that's actually really cool. Because that makes it so that you can actually use it to clash with moves. Which encourages a more aggressive playstyle. That's brilliant. Oh, that's so good. Down smash is Sonic Flare from Sonic Battle. Nice. It's not just the splits anymore. Alright, there's the same. I think that's fair. Gotta have the Sonic Eagle. Everyone puts the Sonic Eagle on a Sonic for his fair. It's so cool. It fits him so well. Having a forward air spike like that is perfect for an aggressive playstyle. Just great all around. Nice, nice. Backer has been changed. Ooh, a multi-hit kick. Oh, look at his face while he's doing it. Oh, he looks so cool. I like having it more rapid hits. Again, having the more rapid hits fits his more speedster playstyle. Erdrick uses a mix of Brawl and Ultimate's animation. Cool. He almost looks like he coils into a spring with it. That's a very nice animation. Downer has been renamed as Sonic Rocket. It is no longer a stall and fall, so it's just downward kick. Okay. Grabs have just been buffed. All right. It has a whiff it? Hold on. Oh, yo, it does! That's what these are, yeah. There's even whiff animations, dude! The amount of work that's been put into this is ridiculous. I love it! Neutral special plays a trick animation. Nice! Side special is boost. Of course, nice, I like it. Cancel into jump can be canceled into dash attack if you're holding down the control stick. Previous speed for specifics looking like this. You're less than panel. So it's momentum based? Yes! Ooh, yes! Will not stop at ledges. Is affected by gravity. Travels anywhere between 40 to 90% of final destination. Requires being charged up. Prevents. I need to hit any normal move or homing attack. Okay, cool. I like it. Nice! Boost is a very complicated move and has a lot of nuances with what it can be, with it being mainly cancelable into 3 possible animations. But it can be cancelled into any move on hits that can be cancelled into even more animations. Due to this move's fixed knockback, it is intended to be Sonic's ultimate combo tool, and especially since its strength doesn't wear off over time, plus the additional cancelable ability allows it to be stringed into practically any of his moves due to it cancelling on hits. But it can also cancel into his aerials, a dash attack canceled up smash, or even canceling it into a grab. There's so much here. Oh my gosh. So you can't special cap to gain. Okay, okay. Will never KO, but that's perfectly fine for its intended goal. That's such a cool move. I love this so much. The Sonic Mania spring jump. And then I think down special. Sonic Adventure, down special. Soft stage will careen into the blast zone. Lining onto allowed Sonic to charge up a grounded down special by continuing to mash the special button. It is similar to the drop dash feature. Hitting someone with the bounce bracelet will make Sonic bounce off of the opponent. So is this what's spiked in the trailer? He's got a new drop dash sort of down special? Because that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, let's just have another mod, but I just had to make a few tweaks to the original to make it more unique, so let's just allow it to cancel into drop dash. It's also the strongest spike Sonic has to offer. Yeah, it's spike. Okay, cool, cool. That's what also has the highest risk spike to go for, as if you miss, you'll self-destruct due to how fast Sonic is going. That's something I feel like Sonic needs so much more of. Just that, whether you win or lose, you're going to die very quickly. Just that high risk, high reward, that's perfect for him. Overall, this rework is intended to make Sonic have much more personality, a bit more polish, and redesign him into an archetype that's much more fun to play and to watch. And I think you've succeeded with flying colors. I don't feel like I'm even worthy to give knockback on it. This is so much more work than, like, 99.9% of people put into their ideas. Like, this exists! This is a tier above the content I make. This is just... Oh my god! Live fast and kill fast. Exactly. Oh man. Did I subscribe to your channel? Let me do that real quick. Subscribing. Yes, please. Cannot wait to see as that project grows. PhazoGanon really brought a nuclear reactor to a science fair. Oh, I'm just glad that I got a chance to shine a spotlight on that project. And that's only one character out of the entire mod! That's only one! Oh my gosh! Oh, I can't wait to see what you have in mind for Ganondorf. Took some inspiration from my original idea. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If I actually got to see that in motion, I might cry. Like, legitimately. If I got to see some of those ideas, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see that. I agree with Carson. This version of Sonic feels very close to the spirit of Live and Learn. Dang, that was so good. Yeah, well done. I wanna... Well, let's end off by watching that trailer again. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to get the music off. Just to... end this off properly.
You're too slow! Nobody's faster than me! Here, I'll show you!
I love the rapid jab so much! And he's so expressive! It's so good! Oh, it's such a disrespectful spike now, because if that had missed, he'd just be dead. Whoa, I just noticed. Look at that Bowser skin. Look at that beautiful Bowser skin. It's the Dapper Bowser from Mario Odyssey. Oh, this is such a good mod. What was that Wario? Hold on. I'm sorry to keep pausing it, but like... at that boy! Look at his hair! It's so good! Oh, that's got such a nice flow and feel to it. Oh.
Too easy. Piece of cake.
Ah, that was so good. Smash Brothers Ultimate E.X.O. Very impressive. It's one of the best mods I've seen. Check out the music. Where would I find the oh yeah, the music folder. I remember. Hold on. Let me document here. Where was that music folder? Music editions. This document. Boop. Ooh. Got Souls, we got Doom, we got Fortnite in here, we got Team Fortress, Paper Mario. A lot of Paper Mario. Mario Galaxies. Is all this music in there too? Donkey Kong, Majora's Mask. Roar of Dedede, yes. Chronicles, Invite X, yes. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, yes. Color Sonic Unleashed. So much Sonic. Street Fighter, got Minecraft. This is... Got Deltarune in there too. Hell yes. If any of you ever needed a reason to mod your Switch, you have just received the perfect reason to do so. Alrighty. Get the next music set up. Alright, as incredible as that is, we have to move on. As I do still have some other cool ideas from other people to show off. Next up, we have an idea from Adventurer. I'm going to remember to grab the link again this time. Adventurer has an idea for a full-blown Mario fighting game. Super Mario is a franchise that needs no introduction, so I won't give it one. Instead, I'd rather talk about the spin-offs. After all, there's so many. You have racing games, sports games, party games, role-playing games, tactical shooters. Mario & Rabbids is rather odd now, if you think about it. And yet, despite how popular it is, there's only one genre that Mario has yet to touch: the traditional fighting game. Sure, you could argue that Super Smash Bros. Exists, but it's both a platform fighter, not a traditional one, and focused more on Nintendo and video games in general than just Mario. No, what I mean is a proper, traditional 2D fighting game centered around the Mario franchise. I could see this genuinely happening someday, especially with the Rabbids helping Mario into some weirder territory. But for now, I want to ask, what if? What if a Mario fighting game happened to appear in some Nintendo Direct? Who would be in it? As a heads up, I will not be going over gameplay mechanics in depth. Unfortunately, my knowledge on fighting games doesn't run very deep. However, for the sake of writing, assume it's your basic 3-button layout: punch, kick, and heavy kick. Heavy punch is the norm, but given the emphasis on jumping in Mario games, heavy kick would be a cute addition. I'd also love to give a huge thanks to Grump. As I mentioned earlier, traditional fighting games are not their strong suits. They were a great help in setting on the playstyle for some of the characters in this concept. Okay, general rules. Don't technically need to set any rules, could just go buck wild and add whoever after all. However, where's the fun in that? Instead, let's pretend that this is being treated the same as every other Mario spin-off. Because of that, we're keeping the base roster at 16. This is how many characters appear in both Mario Tennis Aces and Mario Golf Super Rush started with, and anything less than that would honestly be a huge loss. No cutting a realistic option unless there's a good reason. In a roster this limited, it's tempted to go for a ton of weird choices, but realistically, every game has its mainstays. If one of them are being cut, there has to be a good reason. Don't get too boring either. Every roster needs a few weirdos. And lastly, include as many playstyles as possible and don't bloat one playstyle too much. Diversity is key. With those settled, let's just get straight into it, beginning with Mario. You can't really have a Super Mario fighting game without Mario. Come on, literally in the title. Super Mario. So of course Mario is the first pick, and being the mascot of the series as well as the face of gaming means he needs to have the most welcoming playstyle of any character. Mario is our all-rounder of the game. His playstyle will be inspired by Reimu with his Smash 64 specials, all filling out those respective archetypes. Though I would personally include the Tanuki Leaf and Cape Feather with his Super Jump Punch and Mario Tornado respectively for some added flair. He could also have several unique tools pulled from other games such as a burst attack with the Flood, or a hard-hitting overhead swing with his hammer, but overall his moves will be very simple and to the point. Just a guy who likes jumping. And of course, the other half of the Mario Brothers is here, Luigi. His inclusion makes almost as much sense as Mario's, with him appearing alongside him as many of the mainline games. As a sort of a glorified palette swap, you can go expecting him to get the Ken treatment, but I think making him a clone would be a huge disservice to both him and the roster as a whole. Instead, Luigi would be more of a zoner. Equipped with his Poltergust, he can pull in, or in most scenarios, push away opponents as well as launch projectiles from afar, such as elemental blasts or random coins or gems which were sucked up earlier. However, his ability to suck in opponents as well as his slippery traction gives him a unique approach tool, even if his poor close-ranged options mean it's only suited for foes which are too difficult to hit. Peach was tricky to nail down. Wasn't sure how to incorporate her into a fighting game at first. She's been playable a few times, while the rest of the time she spends the entire time behind a cage. However, with some help, I finally settled on a defensive playstyle with Okizumi. Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Okizumi? Okizim? I don't know. Qualities. Oki quality characters are basically focused on knocking down characters and preventing them from getting back up. This is done with the help of a unique float, as opposed to a simple jump like most characters have. Her parasol will also be a useful tool in her arsenal, both being able to safely block attacks and deal damage. If an opponent manages to break through to her, though, her low, I'm gonna guess health, makes her easy to take down. Yoshi, we have the mascot, we have his brother, we have his maybe girlfriend. Now we need a steed/father figure. Okezeme? Okay, Okezeme. I'm not gonna remember that. Okezeme. Okay. Okezeme character is Peach. But for Yoshi, Yoshi's not only the most consistently returning character in the spin-offs, as well as occasionally the mainline games, he even has his own spin-off series that peaked with the first game, but still. Just like our previous spin-off star in Shamrock, Yoshi would be another zoner. His eggs make for great projectiles, especially with how openly he can aim them, even if his speed isn't the best. However, he has one thing to make him stand out. He's also a grappler. If he manages to eat somebody with his tongue, he can poop them out as a egg, and then throw that to lead to some nutty combos. Daisy is an odd character. Although she's immensely popular, mostly on Twitter, her status is more or less exclusive to the spin-offs, making it difficult to tackle her. Is there enough to justify including her? Well, beyond being one of the only few female characters in this roster and the only human with darker skin, yes, we are using Tan Daisy. Her status as a spin-off icon. It's weird that Daisy isn't Egyptian. This has always bugged me. Like, she's based off of Sarasaland, but they didn't make her Egyptian. Like, come on. You could have some fun with that. Anyway, her status as a spin-off icon means she just makes sense for a fighting game. Besides, I think we would all know Nintendo would include her. When has she ever been shafted from a spin-off? Temporarily for strikers, but that wasn't for very long. With that out of the way, though, her aggressive, headstrong personality makes her the perfect fit for our first rushdown. Her game plan is to charge in there and just wall up the shit out of her opponents. Giving her a flower motif, something that's appeared in a few games, would help her move stand out further. Honestly, doesn't know what her specials would be, I just know she would get in there and rip and tear. Wario. What's the deal with so many characters getting more focus on spin-offs than in the mainline series? I don't even know the last time Wario appeared in a Super Mario game. Anyway, Wario brings back the streak of no-duh characters. An iconic villain that's appeared in pretty much every Mario spin-off in the last few decades and has not one, but 2 spin-off series. You thought Daisy was a huge rushdown? Just wait until you see Wario. To win as Wario, you spam. This is the character made to go Unga Bunga mode and just charge in full offense. Additionally, his attacks would pull from the Wario Land series, since Smash seems to have dibs on WarioWare. This means he would pull very little from the Smash series, thank God. Alright. Unlike, admittedly, most of the characters in this roster. However, one thing I would like to bring over is the motorcycle as a special, but with a change. Spamming your heavy kick while riding on the bike would have him get off, spin it around himself as long as you spam, then toss it at the opponent. That's how brain dead Wario truly is. I love that idea as a move. We got our good old Donkey Kong. From one king of spin-offs to the next, Donkey Kong, his grandfather was one of the first iconic villains in video game history. The grandkid isn't so bad either, being the hero of a good majority of the Donkey Kong Country series. Add on his repeated appearances in Mario Kart and the Mario Sports games, with or without the rest of his family, and he fits in with his roster. Pretty obvious playstyle. He's a grappler, big monkey, throws barrels at carpenters and or gremlins. Just makes too much sense. His cargo carry from Smash would be an interesting special, although his special would need to be taken to make sure DK players don't end up carrying people to walls and trapping them there. I just read Donkey Kong, I immediately look for the Naruto profile picture in the chat, and sure enough, there it is. Bowser is next. Bowser is a pretty expected inclusion, being the main antagonist of the series and all. Can't really have a crossover without the big bad. And just like how Mario is the most iconic video game character, Bowser is likely the most iconic video game villain. As you'd expect from such a fiend, Bowser would be your typical tank. Big but slow, powerful and decently ranged attacks, high HP, and easily comboed by 70% of the roster. His main projectile, a strong fire blast, would be slow and more so about intimidating opponents rather than actually hitting them. Several of his castle weapons could additionally make for great specials, such as skewers, thwomps, and bullet bill blasters. That'd be a fun way to design a Bowser moveset, like actually having his castle, like, obstacles. That could be really fun. Bowser Jr. is here, of course. Need some more proper villains. Donkey Kong, Wario, and Waluigi are only kind of villains. Usually they're more morally ambiguous allies. So of course, gotta have the bratty son Jr. And honestly, I do agree, you can kind of just take his moveset from Smash. Does a perfect job at utilizing the Crown Car. Be a trapper with access to slow-moving cannonballs, stage patrolling Mecha Koopas, and perhaps a splatter of sunshine paint that opponents can get stuck inside if they touch it. I would also prefer to have him be, like, just Junior here. Like, throw more of those sunshine references, more of his character. That'd be great. We got Monty Mole. Yeah, first unexpected pick, sure. Maybe not weird yet, although trust me, we'll reach the weird one soon. But Monty Mole isn't exactly a Mario icon. Hell, if you wanted to go for a Mario enemy, Koopa Troopa would make more sense at first. Yet Monty has one trait not present on the roster yet. He's small. Every character has a medium-sized build at worst, while Monty would be very small. Combined with his free range of movement, I think he works as our de facto goon rep. Monty would be sort of a gremlin in battle. Very small, very fast, smaller build makes him hard to hit, and if left unchecked, he can shred through his enemies surprisingly quickly. The downside is that he needs to get close to opponents to hit them. His only projectile is a rock throw. That's honestly better off extending combos rather than chipping away from afar. I do like the Monty Mole pick. That feels like a good pull for like that small, just Kid Goku type of gremlin character. Unlockable characters, Rosalina at first. Maybe surprised to see Rosalina as an unlockable fighter, ever since her introduction in Super Mario Galaxy. She's quickly become a fan favorite, even topping Daisy and getting a spot in both Mario 3D World and the hearts of its players. However, if you know Rosalina or her appearance in Smash, you know that she would be a very unique archetype that's better suited for more skilled players. As a puppet fighter, she would command a Luma to assist her. Unlike Smash, this Luma would be unable to die, though its mid-low position means more characters can jump or crouch over it. Based off that, it's just based off the way she fights in the games, Galaxy references and all. Got Waluigi as well. He needs to be in a game like this. This isn't a matter of want or even a matter of should, but one of necessity. If Daisy is an icon of Mario spin-offs, then Waluigi is the mascot. The poster child for countless karting races, random sporting events, and elaborate parties, excluding Waluigi from this game would be a huge missed opportunity. That being said, Waluigi would be a joke character at first. Sure, he would be relatively fast and have good range, but his attacks would be pathetic and he would be easily killed due to his lanky hitboxes and mediocre health. His moves would be silly too, just a mishmash of dances and random sports-related activities. That is, until we get into his gimmicks. I think Waluigi should be a resource character. Hitting an opponent would give them a random chance of dropping an item, that I'll call a cheat, that Waluigi can then pick up and use to power up one attack if he uses a special input. A special where he launches a weak tennis ball would have him send out a ball bomb instead. A poison mushroom would cause him to moonwalk to apply a poison effect to his opponent. A piranha plant would sprout out to a shoving move to give it extra long reach, range, and especially extra power. We start out with a few cheats at the beginning of a match to give him a fighting chance, but a good Waluigi player would need to always be on the offense and know when to boost what attack. Lemmy! Interesting, okay. I think he did, Pierre. I think he did just make Waluigi Phoenix right. And I appreciate that so much. Depending on your thoughts, there is going to be no way to fit all 8 Koopalings. That alone would make up half the roster. And funny as it would be, shoving them all into one clown car seems a bit too clunky. Okay, you say that, but like, I would unironically love the Koopaling clown car. Of just all of them. That would be great. With that in mind, I asked around to find out who the most popular Koopaling won, and, at least in their friend group, the general consensus was Lemmy. So sure, Lemmy it is. I do like the idea of actually trying to expand their characters, like, specifically, because they do kind of blend together. They are very one-dimensional, so this would be a good chance of, like, giving Lemmy a bit more of a personality. Thankfully, I think it would... Whoa, okay. I saw the one underneath that. That's an interesting poll. Thankfully, I think he would be extremely interesting in a fighting game. His playstyle would center around his iconic bouncy balls, but true to the games, they wouldn't actually deal damage. Rather, they're meant to bounce the opponents towards Lemmy. In other terms, he's almost a stage control character. Meanwhile, his actual attacks would be rushdown designed. Combined with the ball he rides on, protecting him from lower attacks, as well as being able to get off his ball for as long as the down button is held to shift his hurt box, Lemmy would be an extremely annoying character. So here's an interesting poll. This is our weird character. At first glance, this is a pick Nintendo would never go for. A potentially controversial character from the old style of the Paper Mario games. And to be honest, you'd be right. Admittedly, I feel like this roster's been a bit on the typical side. The tricky thing is that Mario spin-offs have such formulaic character choices that it's difficult to deviate from that. I feel like a game like this would need one character that make people sit up and go, oh, they're willing to go with that? Because we do need some more female reps, like I mentioned with Daisy. Something worth noting is that she would have a 3D design in this, rather than just being paper. Interesting. if you can push back how unlikely this inclusion is, Vivian would actually fill in an archetype we haven't touched yet, a mid-range fighter. Her ghostly abilities could potentially allow her to stretch her body, or she could use shadows to attack, although this certainly wouldn't be dualism levels of range. Her spacing would need to be played around carefully since she wouldn't have too many zoning options from afar, and she would be in extreme danger of up close, leading to more defensive playstyle with strong specials to compensate. And oh, there's Toad. I was gonna ask that question while he was cut, but that's why he's here. Toad is usually part of the perfect attendance crew, with the exception of Mario Party. Realistically, a fighting game would include him somewhere, but I feel like base Toad is a bit basic. Unlike Yoshi, the other species representative, there isn't really a properly defined definitive Toad. Until you get into Captain Toad. He's the one with a unique spin-off, so I feel like he would be the best fighter of his kind. In a lot of ways, he would be a parallel to Monty Mole. They're both the shortest characters in the roster. However, while Monty would be a quick rushdown, Captain would be slower and tankier. Tangier. It's probably tankier, but no, he's very tangy. Very, very delicious. Heavy pickaxe swings and backpack slams that deal good damage and quickly take down opponents in an opposite way than the Mole. This is all to compensate for either his lack of a jump or extremely reduced jump, which is more balanced and makes it difficult to hit opponents approaching from above unless they're close. And yes, I love the Kamek respects based. And now finally, our last character. We need the character that helps, literally, bring all the fighters together. The catalyst for the whole crossover mayhem. Now, Bowser would be unlikely since, as powerful as he is, he's not the smartest villain out there, but Kamek? He would fit perfectly. He even has magic, giving an excuse for how everybody was brought here. Perhaps he could even be a part of the final boss, having enchanted Bowser with whatever evil form you'd want to see. As for his playstyle, I think a zoner makes sense. All his fights involve him firing projectiles at the player. Something interesting I would also like to incorporate, though, would be his use of minions. Not exactly a puppeteer, since the Mario enemies he would summon would be extremely simplistic. Think something more like E.X.O from Guilty Gear. They're meant to protect the frail Kamek from harm first and foremost. And there we have it. A perfectly suitable roster for Mario characters, each with a distinct playstyle to help them stand out in their own ways. And yet, I feel we could do more. We've only scratched the surface when it comes to this expansive cast of video game weirdos, so let's take a page from Nintendo's book and include some free DLC. The rules from before still do apply, but to a lesser extent. After all, we've already gotten our main cast, now we can go wild. Don't expect any super deep cuts, but hopefully the first wave of 3 new characters help the roster pop out a bit more. We got King Boo, quite possibly the second most iconic villain in the Mario series, being one of the only ones to regularly reappear in the games. He's even quite prevalent in spin-offs, although he would be taking more from his Luigi's Mansion abilities for this concept. King Boo would be an extremely technical character. His offensive capabilities are stellar, but a large hitbox and lower HP means he can't be played like a rushdown character. He does possess a powerful tool though, the ability to phase momentarily, allowing him to go through his opponent while invincible. This actually encourages players to attack from behind rather than in front of them, mimicking how Boo works in the Mario series. That's a good idea! I love that. We got a Diddy Dixie tag team combo. Nice. Just grab the water real quick. Had to include at least one more Donkey Kong character. The franchise is too big to relegate to a single fighter, so why not 2? Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong are both iconic in their own right, each being playable in 2 of the 3 original trilogy games, as well as the only playable Kongs, excluding the main game, man, to return in the Retro Studios era of games. Donkey Kong Country 2 is also usually cited as one of the best in the series, meaning this duo makes even more sense. Diddy and Dixie would also be our first really? Okay, we'll get to the next one in a bit, but it would be our first stance fighters in the game. Unlike in their games of origin, switching would be done immediately for the sake of gameplay. Diddy would be a more true rushdown, having attacks designed to bring himself closer to opponents and rack up damage. Meanwhile, Dixie would be more of a mid-range character, use her long hair to attack her opponents from a safe distance. Diddy and Dixie are best suited for your state of advantage. Diddy is meant to capitalize on the lead, while Dixie keeps you safe in a dangerous situation. Very nice, you get it. Very good. And then we got Rabid Peach. Concludes our DLC, at least the first wave of it. Every roster needs a hype third party, and, while not exactly a proper third party, she would be a collaboration between Nintendo and Ubisoft. Besides, what would be a better way to end this document than with a character from a weird spin-off? Oddly poetic. I do actually agree with that. This would be strangely fitting. Although Rabbid Peach would primarily focus on zoning, as you'd expect from a character with a gun, relying on it alone wouldn't be enough for her to win. Her shots just wouldn't deal enough damage. Instead, her main tool would be her secondary weapon, the Sentry. This would work like a landmine in this game, meaning she'd need to bait her opponents into touching it in order to both deal huge damage and begin combos. She'd be able to reposition the Sentry whenever, although it would have to move slowly to its new spot, and being touched by an opponent wouldn't create as powerful of an explosion while moving. A weak character at first, proper use of her tools would make her a terror on the battlefield. Ooh! Scrapped idea. I love it when people include their thought process for what they didn't include. Main on a mission from this game is Pauline, a character that has been appearing in almost every Mario spin-off on Switch. Realistically, she would make it into a game like this, but to be honest, I didn't feel a drive to include her. She could have easily replaced Vivian in the mid-range spot. Like, if you want a 100% realistic roster and then just swap them out, but I personally feel like she wouldn't be as interesting of an inclusion as her. I think you could throw in her as like a DLC fighter by really tying into the music side of it. What's her name in Guilty Gear? The Witch. I know. Do something like that with like music notes and summoning those. And Axum Pink is a character I seriously consider for the what the fuck slot as well, as weird as it would have been. However, I feel like she was ultimately a bit too weird at all to be actually realistic, not to mention pretty unrecognizable. Vivian was already kind of pushing things quite a bit. A random boss from Super Mario RPG would be just as bad of a surprise. Other characters briefly considered were Peachette, the Baby Bros, Wendy-O Koopa, Koopa Troopa, and Lakitu. And then Duke talks about his idea for a music-based fighter. Like, but seriously though, it's such a good concept that just no games do anything with. E.N.O? It's pronounced E.N.O? Okay. But yeah, this is a fun concept. A very fun design document that could easily be built off of into a full game. What do you mean you did not consider Pianta? But I don't have much to add here. I kind of just want to see things flesh out a little bit more. Like, you got the baseline idea here. Now starts... Although, you might not... I remember seeing up here that you don't have as much knowledge in fighting games, so I couldn't do the same either, but... But yeah, this is just a fun idea. It's kind of surprising how little Nintendo has tried to do with the 2D fighting game space. Like, it's a very established genre, but they've kind of just been content with Smash Brothers, which, you know, to be fair, it is Smash Brothers, but, like, they could be taking more pieces of that pie, you know? I feel like I would definitely gravitate towards being a Monty main. That's just a fun idea. Maybe Lemmy as well. Especially if he's actually, like, balancing on the ball. But yeah, this was fun. I want to ask the chat real quick, just out of curiosity, what other characters would people like to see in a game like this? I say that and I immediately see someone say, Gino got executed again. Pierre is almost sad that Donkey Kong is part of the cast. He now can't play as anyone else. Tragic indeed. I do love the idea of Rabbid Peach. That's a fun pull for a guest character in a Mario game. Fawful! Ooh, yeah! Fawful would be like my most wanted character in this. Dimentio is also a good pick. Egad, Ashley from WarioWare. The dragon from Mario Odyssey. It's just its head sticking in, like the battle against, is it Galactus in Marvel vs. Capcom? Poochie, Petey Pro. Yeah, like, Mario Cast is so diverse that you could throw in anybody, but I really like the choices that were here. Stack of Goombas, yes! 3 Goombas in a trench coat. I love it. Charging Chuck, Captain Toadette, Shroob, Goomba Stack. Goomba Stack is very fun. But yeah, this was quite fun. I'm glad you enjoyed stepping out of your comfort zone there, adventurer. I think you were quite successful. Alright, what time is it? Okay, probably not going to have time for extras, but I will try to get through the last 2 I had picked. Okay, this song is going to have a lot more energy than I have right now. I'm going to turn this down a bit. Okay. Next up we have from, oh gosh, I'm going to say this wrong. Michael Lola A6. Michael Lola. There's an extra L in there. Blah. It's a design for Reimu. Reimu from Toho. Michael Eloa. God, why am I having a hard time with that? You can see the name there. Thank you for reminding me about the link. I would have forgotten there. Boop. There you all go. Reimu was Michael's most wanted DLC pick throughout the entirety of Ultimate. And since we never got to see that dream turn into reality, let's fantasize about what her inclusion would have been like. Let's go to Gensokyo, the land where fantasies are an everyday occurrence, and pay a visit to the Shrine Maiden of Paradise. But for those who don't know, the Toho project is a bullet hell shoot-'em-up video game series created by Team Shanghai Alice. I apologize for all the mispronunciations of Japanese names here. I'm very bad at that. Which is composed by a single member, Junya Zunota. Zuna is everything when it comes to the mainline Toho games, the first of which, highly responsive to prayers, came out in 1997. He has the coding, the art, the story, the music, all by himself. That gives the games an unusually unique and personal style, which paired with the incredibly fun music, character designs, and gameplay, makes them really fun to play once you get past the initial difficulty. Granted, Toho is much more than its games, we won't be diving into that because it's a hole too deep to escape once you have entered. As you can see, the term bullet hell is pretty spot on for these games. While not the hardest games in the genre, Toho titles are a lot of people's first bullet hell shoot-'em-ups, which makes them seem like an impossible task initially. Nonetheless, once you start getting the hang of it, you will find out that dodging these complex patterns of bullets and lasers, also known as danmaku, is more about memorization than pure reflexes and god-tier gamer skills. Even then, the games still require fast movement and reflexes, especially if you haven't memorized everything in a level or boss fights, or when you challenge the hard and lunatic difficulties. We can say that the mainline Toho titles are about speed, precise movement, and beautiful danmaku that prioritize pretty patterns above being impossible to dodge. Fun fact, in the actual lore of the series, the girls fight using spell card rules, which makes the bullet battles about who has the most beautiful danmaku instead of the contest of strength. Interesting, I didn't know that. So how will Reimu fight? Reimu Hakure is the protagonist of the Toho games, so you'll be representative of the series as a whole, bringing its fast-paced movement and projectile-heavy duels. Additionally, she does have unique characteristics which will be displayed in her moveset. Reimu will be a fast zoner, with great aerial mobility and average ground speed, whose zoning will not be as powerful as other characters like Samus, but instead it will be a way to force opponents to approach unless they want to end up in kill percent as a result of having accumulated hard-to-avoid chip damage from her bullets. As an expert in Danmaku duels, she will almost always win in a projectile fight, and her mobility and maneuvers make her hard to hit, so it is almost obligatory for her to be up close and personal in order to beat her. Nevertheless, she does have one big weakness that comes straight from her games: her lack of damage. All of the Touhou games have two main playable characters, Reimu and Marissa. Reimu is a beginner-friendly character with a smaller hitbox and homing bullets, as shown in the GIF above. GIF above. While Marissa can only hit what is right above her with her linear attacks. To compensate, Reimu's homing amulets do way less damage than Marissa's concentrated lasers. As such, her damage output will be similarly low in Smash, comparable to Sheik in terms of the damage of single attacks. With that said, let's get into the actual movesets. Neutral Special, Bomb/Fantasy Seal. Touhou and other shmups. Shmups? I love that! Shoot 'em up, it's a shmup! I've never heard that shortening before. Oh, I love that so much. Have a mechanic called bombs, which are powerful screen-clearing special attacks that can only be used a limited number of times. These allow the players to make more mistakes, as long as they realize it soon enough, because if you don't pull the trigger quickly enough, you get hit before using your bomb. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. My words are really starting to mesh together. You will lose an entire life and all the bombs that you had will be wasted. Thus, to keep the mechanic faithful to the games, Reimu will only have 3 bombs per Spock. Per Spock? Oh my gosh! What is wrong with me? She will have 3 bombs per Spock. Similar to how Pancho only has 5 uses of Wonder Wing. These bombs will be shown with green stars below Reimu's percentages, just as how they are shown in-game. Fantasy Seal is Reimu's primary bomb in every Touhou game, and it consists of several rainbow-colored orbs of light that float around her for a second, creating a hitbox surrounding her, only to home in on nearby enemies and explode on contact. In Smash, activating a bomb will give Reimu frame 1 invincibility, and the orbs will come out a few frames later, rotating around her and quickly going after the nearest opponents, dealing significant damage. Of course, a move this powerful is very laggy, so shielding the bullets will grant anyone close enough the opportunity to attack, to punish the Reimu player for throwing the attack haphazardly. It is, above everything else, a reversal move to punish opponents that overextend and attack more than they should, and an incredible edge guarding tool too. Kirby with Fantasy. Oh yeah, that's true. Kirby would get that too. That'd be great. With like the weird maid bow as well. Side B is the homing amulet. Her primary shot in every game, it will work similarly to how it does in games, with her shooting an amulet, which will have a single hitbox the size of a Hadouken, more or less, horizontally, plus a couple other amulets from the sides, which will home in on the nearest fighter. The horizontal, non-homing amulets will deal slight knockback and more damage, while the homing ones will be weaker and will not cause the opponent to flinch, like Fox's laser. Tapping the button will shoot 1 horizontal hitbox and 2 homing ones, and holding it will shoot them periodically, slightly faster than Falco's laser. Okay, alright. Focusing on it is another main mechanic of these games as the down special, so it is mandatory to have it included in Reimu's Smash moveset. When focusing in Touhou, the character slows down, and a tiny white dot with a red outline shows up on screen, showing our character's actual hitbox. If a bullet touches this circle, we lose a life, but if it touches any other part of the player's sprite, it doesn't count as a hit. The slowed movement speed and hitbox visualization allows it to more precisely and carefully move, which is essential in order to dodge big clusters of bullets. In Smash, this move will be the key to make Reimu unmatched when it comes to projectile fights. Pressing down B will make Reimu enter focus stage, which will reduce her hitbox to what it actually— oh no! Oh, that's terrifying. and we'll show it as a little circle on her wrist. It shrinks her hitbox to be just that hitbox, that little circle there. Tapping down B while focusing will turn her back to normal. The placement of the hitbox will make it so that most of the other characters' projectile will miss her while she is just standing. Depending on the projectile, she will have to duck, which will move her tiny hitbox extremely close to the ground. While focusing, her movement speed will be greatly reduced, making it impossible to escape from or chase opponents. On account of that, the key to success with down B is to constantly switch in and off, it on and off according to the current situation. Exactly how you play the games once you start getting better at them. Focusing it's going to have her graze, right? Ah, no. Dang it, I would have loved that. Newer titles. In recent games, focusing charges Reimu's shot type into her secondary shot, Persuasion Needles. These grant her the linear and high damaging bullets that she lacks from the amulets, turning her into MRSA 2.0. As a result of that, her sight speed will be similarly changed when focusing in Smash, turning it into her needles. This will lose the homing shots and give her faster traveling bullets that deal more damage on hit. Right. And then up B is Flight. This may sound useless as literally anyone can fly in these games, but Reimu's ability is more successful than what it sounds like at first, because it more specifically gives her the ability to float, literally floating through life, going with the flow and thus naturally ending up on the path of least resistance through most situations. This unique ability also grants her the power to phase out of reality itself, by floating away from everything, and we'll see that with her final smash. For her up B, we'll focus on her general ability to fly, by taking the dashing mechanics from Touhou 7.5 Immaterial and Missing Power, and Touhou 10.5 Scarlet Weather Rhapsody. The first two official Touhou fighting game spin-offs. So it's this dash right here, letting you dash in any 8 direction. You hold the dash button to fly for a couple of seconds. It'll work almost identically in Smash Brothers, having her perform an air dash in said direction. Holding the button lets you fly for a few seconds, and you'll have an indicator showing when you're about to lose your flight. None of the dash types put her into free fall, allowing for aerial combos like hitting an opponent with an F-air, dashing forward and hitting with another fair. As opposed to the fighting games where you can dash twice in the air, you'll only be able to allow it to dash once in Smash. I see Golem asking what's the downside of being small. It was that it makes you significantly slower, like you can't move, and you no longer get homing bullets. Yeah, what Deiko said. And then using up B on the ground will work similar to Min-Min's up B, an invincible dash with no hitbox to get away from opponents. A forward smash is throwing a yin-yang orb in front of her. Works similar to Mega Man's forward smash. It gets bigger and travels further the longer you hold the attack. Can be angled and will bounce off the ground, sealing her walls. At max charge, it will travel the length of battlefield, final destination. Ooh, making it charge a long way and having it bounce can have some very fun combos. I like that a lot. It's strongest when she actually slams the orb down, but will still pack quite a punch as it's traveling. Okay. Up smash. That's a fun animation. 2 swings with her Gohei, after making it gigantic. Has quite a lot of startup, making it a bad shield option, but offers great range and kill. She's got Sephiroth's up smash. Nice. Alright. Down smash is Evil Sealing Circle, one of her bombs from Touhou 6. Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil, which will look similar. I love these titles. It's just like, nobody ever told them to stop, and it's delightful. And sequel shown above. Instead of it being an anti-air tool, both the hitbox and the visual will be lowered to the ground, hitting both sides. Quick attack with less than average kill power, but great utility owing to its speed and Reimu crouching during the move. Jab is just this, literally just this. Alrighty. Forward tilt is a slash with whatever that is she's holding. What was it called? A gohei? Gohei? Something like that. Up tilt, a great diagonal quick double kick that works great as an anti-air. What is that animation? What is that face? She looks like she's been electrocuted. Alright. Down tilt is almost visually identical to Palutena's down tilt, but instead of being a single hit move, it's a multi-hit. Alrighty. Dash attack is just hitting her with her gohei, moving forward. Already. Prayer stick. Okay, I like prayer stick more. Thank you, Golem. I know how to pronounce that. SpongeBob asks, do I know that Rayman is coming to Mario plus Rabbids? I do, and I'm going to celebrate it as a national holiday moving forward. Her aerials will be one of the strongest aspects of her kit, obviously, as she's an aerial fighter. Neutral air. That's a fun visual right there. Spin several yin-yang orbs around her, quickly and horizontally, but much closer to her body than what is shown on the left. Alright. Forward air is a kung fu kick that propels her forward. It could be like kind of like Corrin's back air, propelling her forward. Back air is a hitting with a prayer stick. Hold on 1 second. The music's about to get messed up. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. Just could hear the song ending. I wanted to fix that real quick. Just smacks with her prayer stick. Doesn't have much kill power. Up air is a kind of a kicking backflip, kind of like Mario's. And the down air is a big non-homing amulet diagonally downwards. Ooh! Do that again. That's a fun move. I like the look of that. It's great as a zoning and edge guarding tool. Yeah. Aren't any visuals for the throws? Toho fighting games don't have grabs. Luckily, individual throw animations are the least important aspect of any character, except for excluding a few iconic throws. Forward throw smacks them with her prayer stick like a tennis ball, launching them away. Average throw. Back throw opens a dimensional rift and kicks the opponent into it. That's fun. So she kicks them forward into a rift and the portal launches behind her. I like the visual image of that. Up throw launches an opponent upwards and shoots them with her Yokai Blaster, shown on the left. She's able to move immediately after shooting it so that she can jump up while the projectile is reaching its target and chase her opponents in the air. That's fun! And down throw holds a small yin-yang orb in her hand and smacks the opponent on the head with it, launching them up and slightly diagonally, the perfect angle and distance to combo with almost any aerial you choose. And final smash sign, Fantasy Nature. Fantasy Nature is Reimu's last word, or in other words, her strongest technique. Too powerful to be even used in spell card duels until Marissa is gave it a time limit. Even then, like other characters with their last words, she never uses it in-game. The only way to experience it is to unlock it in the last words section of spell card practice in Touhou 8, Imperishable Night, and boy what an experience it is. This attack allows Reimu to phase out of reality, making her completely invincible to any attack, while she throws a barrage of insanely quick amulets towards her opponent. In Smash, activating it will bring the bullet hell from her home series into the battlefield, with Reimu flying to the center of the screen and firing its pattern of bullets over and over until the timer runs out. Good luck to anyone trying to dodge her ultimate technique. They will need all the luck in the world and more. Yeah, and as you can see, it's a pretty serviceable final smash. Now for stage, we've got the Hakure Shrine. Brings her home itself. The final will occur in the entrance with the temple and its torii gate in the background. It will be a flat stage with cherry blossom trees on the side of the walls to prevent walk-offs. And so Reimu's yin yang can bounce off of them. Nice! I like it when character stages are designed specifically for them. Because of this, you can only KO other players vertically or by launching them higher than the trees if you send them horizontally. Many characters will appear in the background, and knowing them, of course, they will try to join on the fight. Oh, jeez. Hang on, so this actually turns it into a Tohu bullet hell, with just various characters showing up and tossing out shit like this. Oh my. That would be a very, very chaotic stage, but I would love to see it so much. Just every now and then, everyone has to duck for cover. Like a much more extreme version of some of the WarioWare minigames. I actually kind of love that. That'd be great. So that's Marissa's. Oh, I've got Sakuya's here, which is just... I just kind of try to imagine Pac-Man trying to wildly move around here. We've got Yomu. Okay, that one's not as bad. Just kind of have to get into columns. I like it, I like it. And it's kind of leaving it up to the imagination of who else could show up. But yeah, oh, that's such a good... It's such a fun stage idea. It just is a stage hazard. It's more a competition to see who can survive longest, rather than who can beat each other in a fight. And I unironically really love that as a Smash Brothers stage. And of course, music. Like, no, everybody knows Toho music. It's all fantastic. Answer is cheat. Do it, Terry didn't have an insane number of songs. Don't even need to look at fan music. That would just be too much. He's had 4 songs from each mainline game, from 6 to 18, and have an additional 10 songs in an extra category. Oh, that sounds like a dream come true. And we've got the alts, just different characters from the series. And final thoughts. Well, it's finally over. This is the first work of this type I've done, and honestly, it's been way more fun than what I expected, right? Once you start doing this kind of stuff, you can't stop. It starts gears spinning in your head that will never slow down. Taking all of these ideas I had in mind and merging them into a coherent moveset for one of my favorite characters of all time has been really fun and quite seamless too. There hasn't been any move or mechanics that I wasn't able to think of without coming across problems, which I'm grateful for. Excluding one mechanic that I wanted to implement at first, which is the power mechanic from the games, where you collect power items you get by defeating enemies, and the more power you have, the more bullets you shoot. I wanted Reimu to have a mechanic related to power, where she could shoot more bullets when getting more power. But would have made the moveset too cramped, while being pretty unnecessary and a pain to balance, since we don't want her to have actual firepower. We need to reduce the number of bullets she shoots and their damage in order to make her work in Smash. Another challenge that I've had has been the lack of material I could find on the internet that I could use to visualize the various moves that I was thinking of. Thank you, somebody gets it! It's the hardest thing about making the stuff I make. It's just that, okay, this is in my head. How do I find things to visually communicate this? So since I could barely find appropriate GIFs from the games, I recorded myself playing them and then turned them into GIFs. So most of the GIFs you've seen are clips of me playing, both the clips from the shmups and the ones from the fighting games. Nice! That's everything I have to have. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, this was quite a good moveset. I like the visual flair of just having like the orbiting yin-yang orbs. This down air I really like. Turning into this really light, really zone-heavy character. Kind of the chic of zoners, in a way. I really love the Sephiroth up smash. That's really fun. I love the bouncing forward smash. That's great. And it's a nice touch to have that actually work better on her home stage. I wish characters had more of that. Focus scares me. Like, she would have to be really light for this to be balanced. Just shrinking your head your hitbox down to a pinprick, because that doesn't just dodge projectiles. That dodges any down tilts. Certain up smashes will completely whiff on it, especially if she's crouching. I think the one suggestion I might make is to try to implement grazing somewhere in here. I don't know where that would be, as I don't really know how grazing works in Touhou itself. I think I've pronounced Touhou different every single time I've said it so far. But I think it'd be neat to have a mechanic where she gets rewarded more by just barely dodging attacks. Which would be even more fun, considering that she's probably extremely light. Like, very high risk, very high reward. Let's actually ask chat. How would you implement grazing into this moveset in some way? Because I feel like that's an interesting enough mechanic from Touhou that's worth trying to include in Smash Brothers. I'm just curious as to how it would be implemented. Like, what's the risk reward for just barely getting missed by, like, Sephiroth's forward smash? Why would you want to almost get hit by a move? I can see that working high dash, but I prefer to make it something that's based off of the player's own skill. Like, it should be an intentional choice of the player to graze something. Make her projectiles cost meter, make grazing fill them. Ooh, that's a good idea. Make her a very high skill ceiling. But yeah, basically force her to partake in a bullet hell sort of thing by forcing her to dodge attacks. Maybe apply that to, like, perfect shielding and dodging as well. Like, you get a little bit more if you perfect shield or dodge an attack perfectly. I don't know. It's a cool idea regardless. I like the idea of this death by 1,000 cuts projectile zoner. And by doing it the way Chuckle's channel is suggesting, you kind of have to dance in and out of range. In the same way you're dancing around bullets. I like that. Alright, well done, Michael Loloa. I think I said that right. This was a great Smash Brothers moveset. I feel like it'd be a little terrifying to fight. But so long as she's light enough to be killed quickly, I think that would balance itself out. That's a trick to these sort of projectile-based characters. You gotta be able to punish them for their moves. And if I get Touhou music into the game, it's a win-win. Alright, we have one more. Very short idea today. Just to end things off. After I skip this ad from Vimeo, we've been good about dodging ads so far, but we couldn't quite dodge the last one. Alright, this is an idea. Well, I need to remember how to pronounce this. Mr. Mariou. Idea about revitalizing F-Zero. So, it's been roughly 18 years since the most recent F-Zero game, and there hasn't been but a peep of No, wait, don't say it to anybody. Don't say it to anybody. I'm doing it. I'm grabbing it right now. Ha! I beat you. I beat you guys. I got there first. Nintendo's gone on record saying that the reason behind the lack of a new F-Zero is the lack of ideas on how to improve it and not just give the old ones a new coat of paint. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new and improved F-Zero. take a look at Captain Falcon's trophy descriptions in both Melee and Brawl. The first sentence in both descriptions mention how the captain is both a racer and a bounty hunter. And yet, outside of the original SNES game's manual, Falcon has never been seen bounty hunting in the F-Zero games. Let's fix that, shall we? What if we made F-Zero part racing game, part beat 'em up? Let's say you're Captain Falcon, and a new... Dang it, I almost got through the whole stream without coughing. 1 second, let me just grab some water. COVID lug strike again. Let's say you're Captain Falcon, and a new F-Zero championship is beginning soon. Everyone's expecting the captain to come out on top, but hold on. A new participant has entered the race. We'll call him Senor Pepe. God damn it. The race begins as usual, but Senor Pepe has a new custom-built F-Zero racer unlike anything anyone's ever seen before. Nobody stands a chance of catching up with him. Samurai Goro is left in the dust. Dr. Stewart stands no chance. Even Black Shadow cannot keep up. Captain Falcon, however, can keep up the pace. Sort of. Senor Pepe, knowing of the captain's reputation, is well prepared to put it to an end. He kicks his racer up a notch and leaves Falcon 2 in the dust. Falcon, in an attempt to keep up, pushes the Blue Falcon past its limits, but while Falcon is focused on giving the Blue Falcon full power, Senor Pepe suddenly slams on the brakes, leaving the Blue Falcon hurtling full speed towards the Pepe Mobile. Knowing a collision like that would be absolutely catastrophic, Falcon ejects from the racer at the last moment, narrowly avoiding a spectacular explosion. Falcon makes a rough landing and stares in dismay as his pride and joy has been reduced to ashes, smoke, and heaps of scrap metal. The dismay immediately turns into shock as he sees that Senor Pepe's racer has been absolutely minimal damage. With a hearty laugh, he starts his racer back up and finishes the championship effortlessly. Captain Falcon has lost his racer, his title, and his wealth. This is what leads into the main aspect of the game, bounties. In an effort to raise money to rebuild the Blue Falcon and make it even better than ever and take down Senor Pepe once and for all, Captain Falcon goes full force into his career as a bounty hunter. You're met with a screen with several wanted criminals to choose from, each with different difficulties to choose from. The higher the difficulty, the higher the bounty. Once you accept a bounty, you get into the Falcon Flyer and head out to the place where they were last seen. This then transitions into an on-foot open-world area, where Falcon can run around, talk to pedestrians for hints on where the bounty could possibly be, and eventually track them down. Once you locate the bounty, the game transitions to a beat-em-up section where you engage in combat with the bounty with their back against the wall. Using Falcon's moves he uses in Smash, the player has access to an extensive combo system that can be upgraded as you progress to pull off stronger and more flashy abilities. After defeating a bounty, they get put into the Falcon Flyer to be turned into the authorities. Once they get turned in, you get the payment, and you can use the payment to begin rebuilding the Blue Falcon, piece by piece. Once you've accumulated enough bounties to rebuild a working racer, the option to participate in races is unlocked, allowing the player another method to earn money. As you advance, you find more difficult bounties and better parts to buy to upgrade your racer. This inevitably reaches its climax with Falcon returning to the Grand Championship with the Blue Falcon 2.0 and is ready to take on Senor Pepe for keeps, resulting in the game's finale. This is, of course, just a single-player campaign. The game can still be played in standard races with friends or AI, and as an addition, you can also use any racers you build in the campaign mode in multiplayer. With the addition of other F-Zero staples like time trials, I believe this is exactly what the franchise needs to not just be revived, but possibly brought into an entire renaissance. Alright, it's a short one, but it's a fun one. Turns it into a kind of F-Zero mixed with, like, as Jared Hebert's saying it, like E.X.O, or like it's almost F-Zero No More Heroes, which I kind of love the idea of. Like, just picture for a moment an F-Zero game made by Suda51. Wouldn't that be the best thing ever? Yeah, it's basically taking a genre and just stapling another genre onto it, but it's implementing it in a way that makes it so they're kind of married to each other. I think the only like feedback I'd want to give here is that I'd want the how the beat 'em ups is kind of, hold on, let me take a second to word this properly. How the beat 'em up gameplay functions in a way that it's adding to the racing gameplay by finding money to upgrade your racer. I'd want the racing gameplay to, in some way, upgrade the beat 'em up gameplay. Does that make sense? I'm just not sure how best to do that. But for these sorts of games where there's like two different genres competing with each other, you want there to be like an Ouroboros cycle where they're both feeding into each other. And I guess that kind of is here by doing more races to unlock more bounties, but maybe Captain... Let's just go full anime with this. That Captain Falcon gets inspired by beating other racers and creates new moves by winning races against them. Just something weird like that. Like he beats Black Shadow and learns the move Shadow Strength, or something like that. Just go crazy with it, why not? That's an idea from Michael Haviland, sorry, misread that. That racers get powers from their cars. So, like, Captain Falcon, beats their cars and, and just gets powers from them somehow by absorbing... I don't know, man. But, like something like that. Regardless, this is a very good idea to, like, breathe some fresh life into F-Zero. As we all know, it very, very heavily needs it. Alright. And with that, let's go out into the outro music. This has been the third episode of Peasant's Perspective livestreamed. Thank you to everyone that submitted. I know there's still a few more that we haven't gotten to. There's a couple of people that haven't had their first chances. But I think we've gotten to a point that I can almost guarantee that those who haven't had a turn yet will get their chance next time. I think. Unless the channel gets some explosive growth coming forward, then anybody who hasn't had a chance yet will get to next time. Like, it might be to a point that next episode we'll have some chances for people to submit a second idea, which is, again, like I said at the intro, very exciting to me. I love seeing how people evolve how they present their concepts. And so, like, as always, please don't feel too discouraged if you didn't make it in this time. There's always going to be more chances in the future. And you've got a very, very strong chance of getting it into the October episode. So don't you fret. Don't you fret. Alright, thanks everyone for watching this. I really love doing this stuff. Life has frankly been very stressful lately. So it's very, very nice to have just a time where I can just sit back, relax, and just go over some video ideas. This is very fun. And it gladdens my heart to see so many people eager to participate. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good day. And I will see you all next month.